Alrighty folks, we're back with more Echo, and joining me of course is the wonderful Rowan.
Hello.
So yes, we're going to do some more Echo. Oh, I keep loading this screen now. We found it. But yes, so
we found the screenshots screen.
So what is Echo, Rowan?
Echo is a furry visual novel dating sim, but actually horror. Trigger warnings for fucking everything. Chase, an otter, is going back to his hometown to do a bit of a school project. He's meeting up with friends who went to uni from the town that he grew up with, and also the ones that never left. And they're all hanging out and having a fun time. Unfortunately, the town is a haunted meth town, so it kind of sucks ass to be there at all times in the generic, boring way. And they all have trauma. Who do you want to date? Spoiler alert, none of them turn out good. The town has a history of mass hysteria, and as a result, we get a lot of horror. But it's one of the smart ways of doing mass hysteria, where it doesn't just make everyone go crazy. It actually builds up through character interactions and manifesting trauma, and everyone has to go a bit nuts. Turns out that has to happen by talking and thinking. It's very Stephen King-esque. Specific trigger warnings in the route we are currently doing, which is TJs, for gaslighting, weird abusive tendencies, possessiveness, lying, social awkwardness, murder, child murder, gay people existing in a homophobic town of other gay people. Just everything, really. So viewer discretion is advised, but for those of you willing to join us, enjoy. We are currently taking care of a lady who's just had a psychotic meth episode. We're going to do her yard work.
I think we got as far as this.
Yeah, we switched scenes.
Yep. I think this is. We'll just back up a little bit. I think that was saying he could just go. Yeah, he says he could just go towards Janice's house.
He's like, I'm going to check on her, and Chase is like, mate, she just pissed in front of us, literally.
And then we get to this one.
Yeah.
So we'll carry on from Janice's house. The story. Josh, do you want to do the story so far as well?
Story so far. As I said, Chase is here to do school project, meeting up with friends for the first time in a long time. They all have trauma at the lake. Sydney drowned in the lake when they were all children. TJ saw that happen. Flynn thinks that he's hiding something about what happened to Sydney. The screaming argument with him, accusing everybody of all of their bullshit at the river. He storms off. At this point, we have chosen TJ, so we went and comforted him. We talked for a while. I believe we went to Carl's house to do the Happy Birthday Carl surprise party again. Except he weren't there this time, and Janice pissed in the road in front of the car. Probably high on meth. And we left to go look for Carl, and then we're checking in on Janice as we're doing that.
Alright, well, we shall carry on in 1 minute. I'm just quickly doing this. Okay, that's all done. So yes, we've been hiking. We've lost Carl. If I message find Carl, we're now off to do some work for Janice. So let's continue from there.
I think I was doing Janice, wasn't I?
You were doing Janice, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, didn't expect you two down here this early.
We followed the old coyote around the side of the house, weaving through the sagebrush and tumbleweeds.
Yeah, it's a bit hot right now, but if you're feeling up for it. Yeah, we just didn't have much to do today.
Janice, as far as I can tell, has been acting completely normal. I at least expected her to be embarrassed knowing what she'd done in front of us, assuming she remembered it at all. I'm fine with not ever bringing it up again though. I'm sure TJ feels the same way. Once we reach the back of Janice's house, I'm amazed to see a pile of tumbleweeds maybe 10 feet high against the house. The pile sticks out another 5 feet from the wall. Whoa. Janice puts her hands on her hips looking at the mess.
Well, it's right. Been a few years since I got around to doing this. Can't see out the back window anymore.
Janice chuckles. TJ claps his hands and smiles.
This won't be hard at all.
I feel like he's saying that for my sake. It's so hot, I just want to lay down and die right in the dirt.
Should be pretty quick. That's why I got another job.
The corner of my eye twitches. Janice turns the point to her backyard. Or at least what would be a backyard if there was a fence or something to separate it from the wilderness beyond.
See that pile of wood there?
She indicates what is indeed a pile of old crumbling wood.
Used to be a shed there. Been there God knows how long. You boys mind salvaging the good bits for firewood?
Janice turns back to the small shack-like abode that is her house.
You can pile it up against the side of the house.
I give TJ the dirtiest look while he helplessly tries to keep a smile on for Janice. She shields her eyes against the sun.
Wow, it's a real scorcher today. I'll have lemonade made in a few.
And with that, Janice heads back around the house, her heavy footsteps crunching through the rush. We're quiet for a few minutes, both staring at the pile of tumbleweeds.
She seems okay.
I crouch in the dirt, putting my head in my hands.
I think she just had an embarrassing moment and acted awkward about it. I do it all the time.
I don't say anything.
Chase, are you okay?
I shake my head silently.
It's not that bad. We can do this.
I sigh, deciding whether or not I'm actually going to leave TJ then come back when it's not so hot. That's when I hear running water. I look up and see a grinning TJ standing at the corner of the house holding up a green hose. Water trickles out the metal capped end.
Thought I forgot about you and water? Remembering 15 minutes at least.
Despite my bad mood, I can't help but smile a little at his continued enthusiasm. I stand up and walk over to the hose, taking it from TJ and letting the icy water run over my head while he looks on approvingly. I have to keep myself from moaning at how good it feels. Once I'm done, I look back at the pile of tumbleweeds. So, what are we supposed to do with all these? She didn't tell us where to put them.
We'll just throw them off to the side. The wind will take care of them.
So we set to work. Janice had at least left gloves for us to use so we didn't have to worry about anything sharp going into our hands. I still get poked through my shirt and even face when I pull one out awkwardly. TJ, I can't help but notice, is a lot faster than I am. He's working on a quick and steady pace, not caring at all when a tumbleweed hits him in the face. I get a few more messages from Leo asking where we are. When I tell him, he doesn't reply. Soon enough, I'm sweating buckets, dark circles forming under my arms and around my neck. 10 minutes in, I'm ready to take off my shirt, letting it hang on a rusty outcrop under the window. I notice TJ giving me sidelong glances after I do. I grin at him. What, enjoying the show? TJ jumps.
What? No?
TJ quickly looks away again, working faster than ever on the tumbleweeds, which are already half gone at this point. I notice he's got the same sweat stain pattern as I do. Hey, you can take yours off too, it really feels good. TJ stops and pants for a while, staring at the rest of the tumbleweeds. I mean, might as well do it now, we still have a ton of wood to move after this. He flicks his ears and I can see him blushing. Are you embarrassed? Don't you shower with other dudes don't you shower naked with other dudes at the school?
Well, yeah, but...
What? TJ huffs and finally pulls his shirt off, forcing a smile as he goes over to hang it up next to mine. I notice that he does it with crossed arms the way girls do.
There, happy?
What's with you and being all weird about having your shirt off? You were the same way this morning. TJ sighs.
I was trying not to make it weird, but you two were just staring at me when I opened the door.
I laugh and TJ puts his hands on his hips.
Just remember that when we're done, we're going to have to check our torsos for ticks too. Oh yeah, ticks. Ugh.
Oh yeah, that dampens my spirits. Man, this sucks. TJ pants quietly for a few seconds.
It's a little hot.
So you do admit this is a bad idea?
No, I mean, maybe. But at least we have the evening to do something when we're finished, right?
He smiles at me hopefully. That does brighten my mood a little. Wanna go at the diner? TJ smiles before bending over towards tumbleweeds again.
Yeah, sure. I was wanting to try. Ah!
I jump a foot in the air, almost falling into the tumbleweeds.
Go, go, go!
TJ's off like a bullet, running away from the pile in my direction. Confused, I jump out of his way, then follow him around the side of the house as I look at where he'd been standing. I don't see anything, but his reaction is enough to get the fur standing on the back of my neck. TJ comes to a stop towards the front of the house. What the hell? What happened? I finally catch up to him, panting under the heat. TJ is gasping too, probably more out of fear.
Tarantula?
A reflexive shiver runs up my body and I wring my hands out. No. I'm suddenly very conscious of everything around me, all the little twigs and branches of the sagebrush looking like spiders. Are you sure?
Yes.
TJ's voice is high-pitched and squeaky as he shakes his hands. He's laughing to himself nervously.
I was reaching down for another one, and when I touched it, it moved, and it was a giant freaking spider.
TJ must be really freaked out because I rarely hear him use even that word. We both stand there for a minute and TJ looks towards the back of the house again, biting his lip. There's something a bit off about the way he's acting though, maybe a little over-exaggerated. I narrow my eyes. Is this another prank?
Ha! No.
TJ looks back at me and shakes his head, his eyes wide.
It was right there. It's probably still there now.
Dude, you better not be joking around with me on this. I'm gonna make the rest of the day so much worse. He shivers again, but I'm still suspicious. TJ could be a good actor when he wanted.
It was definitely a tarantula.
The front door suddenly opens and Janice pokes her head out.
Oh my stars. Who are those two handsome young men in my yard? That's creepy, Janice.
The old coyote comes out, looking us up and down, especially TJ. The lynx notices and grips an arm with one of his hands, as if trying to cover up our gaze.
And what's all that hollering?
I frown at the old coyote's forwardness. I look at TJ, but he doesn't say anything.
I forgot about this.
TJ says he saw a tarantula. Janice clasps a paw on the side of her face.
Well, I'll be damned. A blonde? Maybe. I've never seen one before. Well, they're all over around here. You just never see them because they only come out at night.
Janice shields her eyes again.
This time of day is way too hot for him. It was probably a huntsman.
All this talk about spiders is making me want to just walk the fuck back to the motel right now.
It wasn't.
TJ mumbles next to me. I don't think Janice hears him.
Just want to let you two know I made some lemonade and have some cookies in the oven too.
TJ forces a smile onto his face.
Oh, thank you, Janice.
She grins at him.
You're just the most adorable thing.
She moves forward to pinch his cheek ruff. Somehow he manages to stay smiling while she does it. Finally, Janice bustles back inside and I give TJ a long look. He throws his hands up in the air.
I'm not lying.
I can see him turning red under his fur, so I'll leave it for now. We look around for a while but can't find any trace of the spider. Getting back to work is difficult and I keep jumping at the sight of anything long and spindly. Which, when you're clearing out tumbleweeds, is everything. On top of that, I see several small spiders, and every time I do, I jump and run a few steps before I try and shoo them off. TJ recovers a lot faster though, and is pretty soon he's tossing out tumbleweeds the same pace he was earlier. This makes me even more suspicious. Anyway, it's not a bad sight. TJ's way more in shape than I am, the tight muscles in his back easily standing out and gliding under the fur. I catch myself staring several times, and I'm pretty sure he does too. Once we're almost finished, I have to straighten up, pushing my hands into my lower back to make it crack.
So?
A little bit. TJ tosses out some of the last tumbleweeds before walking up to my side.
Does it always hurt?
Puts a hand on my lower back and starts sliding it around. Not really, just when I'm bending over and stuff. He's quiet for a moment, teasing through the fur on my back. I start to blush, but that's when he applies some pressure to the muscle. I grimace and arch.
Wow, that's stiff.
I hiss and try to writhe away, but he puts a hand on my shoulder to hold me in place. He giggles.
Hold still for a second.
Well, when you're digging in like that...
That's because you're all tensed up. Just relax.
I try to do as he says, even though it's extremely uncomfortable.
So, otters are known for having bad backs.
I know, my dad can barely move these days.
That's terrible.
I shrug. He still gets around, just needs pain meds.
Which you don't want to have to rely on.
My shoulder bumps TJ's chest with his long and his long whiskers brush my ear.
It's the short legs and the long back.
Rude.
You have to bend over more than most of us. Keep a good posture and lift heavy things with your knees.
His fingers dance a bit lower before pulling back.
You'll thank yourself 20 years from now when you're not in constant pain.
I put both my hands on my back, feeling warm and a lot more loose. Hey, I actually do feel a little better.
Great.
I'm impressed with how much TJ knows about otters. Probably because he probably knows the same amount about all other species too. You know, you're really smart. TJ ducks his head modestly.
Oh, I'm just repeating what I've learned.
I mean, forget everything I learned. I forget everything I learned within a week.
I do too sometimes. I just have to keep studying until it sticks.
TJ looks around.
Actually, I really wish you could lay down somewhere and I could give you a real massage.
That would be amazing.
I can give you one tonight when we're back at the motel.
You sure? The thought has me feeling warm, not just on my back.
Of course. I mean, I did sort of drag you out here.
Don't worry about it. It's actually kind of nice. I haven't done a walk like this in a few years. TJ smiles back at me.
It is, isn't it?
He leans back and stretches, and I have to force myself not to stare at his arching torso.
I think that's it for the tumbleweeds, though.
I look a little forlornly at the pile of boards. TJ follows my gaze and gives me a sympathetic smile.
Remember, with the knees.
TJ says brightly as he marches over to the pile. We find out pretty quickly that while there aren't any tarantulas, the ruins of the shed are infested with spiders. Several of them are black widows. Because they're actually dangerous compared to blondes, TJ goes to ask chance for bug spray. I go back to water myself again with the hose, letting the freezing water run down my sides and head off my snout. Fucking spiders, fucking everywhere. I shiver again. I've been uptight ever since TJ had faked seeing that tarantula. I stand back up, letting the water run down my back and front, sighing at how good it feels. I hear the front door open and shut and the sound of TJ's footsteps coming around the house. Looking back at the still running hose in my hand, I smirk. TJ did start this little prank war, so I don't feel too bad about what I'm about to do. I press myself against the side of the house, making sure there aren't any spiders first. The second I see the lynx's foot stick around from the corner, I swing the hose up. My original intention had been to wet the front of his pantsuit like he'd pissed himself. Unfortunately, he's too far away from the house and instead he's left staring at me while arch water falls short of him by a good 3 feet. He's holding stuff, but I don't take the time to see what it is before I press my thumb to the opening of the hose and send a spray right into his face. TJ gasps like he just fell into ice water and stumbles back, almost dripping. I laugh.
Chase, what the fuck? Oh, sorry, what the heck? Oh, this is TJ.
I finally cut the stream of water, revealing a furiously blinking and dripping lynx. On one hand is a broom and the other hand is a plate of what probably used to be cookies. They look kinda mushy now. Oh crap. TJ drops the broom and examines his plate of cookies. He tips it to the side and lets a stream of murky, crumb-filled water slush out of the plate.
They smell so good too.
I walk over and take the plate from him. Well, the ones on top aren't so bad, just a little soggy. TJ wrinkles his nose.
Just throw them into the desert. I'd feel bad if Janice saw.
I pick up a cookie and take a bite. It was a bit soggy on the surface, but it's warm and gooey in the centre. TJ looks at me in horror.
Chase!
What? This tastes freaking amazing. Quit being so uptight and take a bite. I take another.
Stop! What if, what if that's irrigation water?
That makes me pause for a second, but I shrug. I swallowed water all the time when I swam in the lake. I wonder right after saying that if I shouldn't be mentioning the lake at all and TJ, but he seems to shake his head, making his way around me.
If you start throwing up tonight, then we'll know why.
But I have you to take care of me, Doctor.
I don't know much about being sick, actually.
He watches me anxiously as I take another bite. Still, it is really good. I point at the broom in the dirt. What's with the broom? TJ bends down to pick it up.
Janice didn't have any bug spray, so she said to brush all the boards with this.
I groan.
I was thinking you could do the brushing and I'll do the lifting since your back's sore.
I groan.
Don't worry, Janice says if we get bit to let her know and she can take us to the hospital.
Comforting.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sorry about all this. I didn't know it was going to be so tough on you.
I swallow guiltily. I'm mostly joking. It's just really how spidery it is the worst part.
I'll buy it at the diner when we're finished, okay?
I smile at him. I'm not hurting for money at all, but I know it'll make TJ feel better if I let him. Alright, what's the deal? It's afternoon at this point. The sun low energy in Janice's house is casting a shadow across the backyard. Of course, that shadow is a good few feet. Sorry, the door just closed itself on its own. I realised the cat is the cat. It's fine. Thank you, Captain. Of course, that shadow is a good few feet away from where we're working. I set to work trying to sweep away spiders, their egg sacs, all that kind of bugs that old TJ grabs the big boards and drags them across the yard. I'm pretty bad at it, trying not to yelp when I jerk the end of a broom back and forth like an idiot. TJ tells me several times I can sit it out, but I'd feel way too guilty if I did. At one point I almost flick a spider onto TJ, which sends him screaming. But several apologies and nervous laughs later, we're back at it. It takes a lot longer than it should, mainly because of all the sweeping I'm doing, but a few hours later we're down to the last few boards, most of which is left rotting, crumbling wood. TJ wipes a hand across his forehead.
Well, I'd say this is the last one.
I give the board a cursory brush, happy to not see any spiders on this one. Hey, I was thinking, you want to go on another hike tomorrow? We could invite the others to go with us. TJ looks up at me.
Sure? I thought you didn't like it.
Again, I complain a lot, but I had fun. TJ smiles.
Well, alright, that'd be awesome.
He's grinning now. That makes me even more. That makes me feel even better.
Alright, let's get this done and we can go to the diner and plan it out.
Sounds like a plan. With that, TJ flips the board to reveal a massive tarantula. 8 beady black eyes reflect in the sun. I said I'm almost blinded by it. They bore into me and the spider turns slowly crab-like on its legs so it can face me. My stomach turns, the ground tilts. I feel like I'm falling off the edge of the world. I grab for something, anything, but all there is air around me and I fall in the darkness.
Just count when the shoulders are down, alright?
I feel like water's rushing up through my ears and I have to widen my stance to keep from falling.
Are you listening?
Huh?
Chase!
What? I tried to focus on the kid in front of me.
Did you die or something?
I don't know, I just was thinking of something else.
You're dumb.
You're dumb.
I don't feel good.
Toby stands there with his arms around his stomach, his ears down.
Quit being a baby, Toby. Just one more round. I don't want... Go!
Sydney grabs Toby by the shoulders and sticks a leg out behind his legs. TJ is easily tripped and goes down his back in the dirt. I get the feeling that Lynx is purposely losing so I can be done with it. Sydney doesn't like that and tries to pull TJ back up before rolling the Lynx onto his stomach. He yanks at Toby's ears.
Ow!
And I step closer. Okay, Sydney wins. I raise a hand and point to Sydney, just wanting this to stop. Sydney keeps going, grabs his shirt that he threw on the ground earlier and wraps it around Toby's neck. Sydney.
Hardcore rules, it's all legal.
Come on. Toby grabs at his neck. His eyes widen as Sydney leans back, pulling Toby's head back with him. The Lynx's arms flail around, his mouth wide open. I stand there confused. Is it okay if it's not against the rules? Sydney laughs and leans even further back, looking excited and happy. Toby stares at me with wide, bulging eyes. Stop! I reach forward and grab onto TJ.
Chase, can you hear me?
TJ's looking down at me with wide blue eyes. Toby?
Wait, what?
I blink up at him, feeling sick. TJ feels in my head and stands up, starts pulling me along the ground. What are you...
Gotta get you inside.
He grunts as he pulls me, and that's when my stomach lurches and I roll over and vomit up the cookies.
Crap.
I can hear TJ start to panic, so I grab at him. I have to cough and spit several times before I can speak. No, I'm fine. Don't freak out.
No, you're not. Can you stand up?
Yeah, I'm good. I get up on wobbly but stable enough legs. TJ puts an arm around me.
We're calling an ambulance once we get inside.
No, I'm alright.
No, you're not alright. This is serious.
He starts limping me towards the front of the house. I should have been keeping it. Oh, sorry, you.
I should have been keeping an eye on you.
TJ's voice cracks and I stop him. Hey, look at me. I'm okay. I look him in the eyes with see tears threatening to spill over. I'm just really hungry and I stood up too fast, then I got dizzy. TJ looks back at me, studying my face. Just don't call an ambulance for me. Not yet, at least. I force a laugh. Definitely can't afford that right now. TJ's quiet for a moment, then starts pulling me to the front again.
We're getting you inside at least. I should never have let you work under this heat.
I'm just tired. We should go to the motel instead.
Inside, now, just in case.
Janice is happy to let us sit on the couch for a while, drinking lemonade. TJ doesn't tell her what happened, but he glances at me every now and then as if worried I'm going to faceplant off the couch. I feel a little bit dizzy, but otherwise fine. I keep thinking back to that tarantula, but TJ hasn't said anything about it, so I decide to not bring it up yet. Meanwhile, TJ is making awkward conversation with Janice. I lean my head back, hungry and tired.
Mainly, it's just the word shop, and that'll be the hard part. My back isn't nearly as good as it once was. Oh yeah, I imagine. I guess I was hoping I could get a little more help. Oh. If you didn't mind, of course.
I lift my head from the couch to look at TJ.
I got tomorrow off as well, and I'll be free to show you what needs to be done if you're willing.
TJ's stuck with his mouth open, then he smiles.
Of course.
I frown. Janice beams at him.
You're just a little lifesaver. No problem, man. And so proper too.
TJ avoids making eye contact with me, a smile plastered to his face all the while. Janice suddenly turns her gaze to me and I'm forced to wipe the glare off my face.
How are those cookies?
Oh good, they were good, huh TJ? TJ, still smiling, gives a curt nod.
Good. My secret recipe.
She winks at me and I feel a little uncomfortable because the smile doesn't touch her eyes. It's a short walk to the diner and I berate TJ the entire way.
I'm sorry, she just sort of pushed it on me.
You can always say no.
Can't just say no.
Or at least that you had other plans. TJ stays quiet as I push open the door to the diner. I was kind of looking forward to hanging out again. TJ keeps quiet as we sit down, so I give up and just lean my head back again, eyes closed. It's quiet for a few minutes before TJ finally speaks up.
How are you feeling?
I rub my eyes gently, a headache now replacing the dizziness I'd felt earlier. Tired, my head hurts.
I really shouldn't have done that. I'm so sorry.
Stop apologising, please. I'm fine. It wasn't the heat. TJ frowns and sits back, looking out the window at the sunset. Sorry, I'm not mad. I just don't want to see you beat yourself up over it, you know? I don't tell him that his constant fretting and apologising is grating on my headache.
Well, make sure you try to eat. You might just need energy.
Here's hoping. At that moment, a young stag that I vaguely recognise comes to our table. It's weird seeing someone so young and fresh in Janice's position. Once he gets to our table, though, his eyes light up.
Teach? Do you want to do that?
I guess I'll do this one because you've done so many elements.
Fair enough.
TJ sits up, suddenly a big grin spreading across his face.
Julian?
Julian? It's been a while since I'd seen him. He's bigger and so are his antlers. I barely recognise him. And Chase too. What in the world are you two doing here?
Visiting. Didn't know you had a job here. That's cool.
Julian grins. Not really, but it pays some of the bills. At that point, I phase out the conversation, letting the two of them catch up. TJ had a lot of friends in high school. He'd been technically popular. It's a good few minutes before the stag finally takes her orders. Once Julian bustles off to another table, TJ grins at me.
Oh man, it's good to see him again.
Yeah, that's cool. The stag gone, the awkward silence quickly closes in on us again. I'm too tired to do much about it though. I lean my head back again, closing my eyes and feeling like I might fall asleep right there.
So...
I open them again to see TJ looking at me before he quickly looks away again. What? He fiddles with the stack of napkins.
You called me that earlier.
Did I? But I remember it even as I say it.
Yeah.
TJ forces a laugh.
Oh, it's been years since you called me that.
Yeah. You've been quiet for a moment. I'll be quiet for a moment.
Sorry, it's loading.
It's alright.
There we go. So, why did you call me that?
I don't know. Guess I was a little loopy after passing out.
Ah.
I am carefully. Do you mind if I call you that?
TJ is fine.
So yes. I studied TJ the way he sort of hunched in himself, his ears twitching. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I go back and forth between deciding if I should bring the whole Flint incident or not. Despite his best efforts, TJ isn't fooling anyone that he's not bothered by what happened. Of course he would be. Do you want to talk about what happened on Monday? TJ's quiet and I kick myself. I'll give him a little more time to think what I'm going to say next as Julian brings our food and strikes up another conversation. TJ again is able to easily slip in a smile and chat away with the stag. The smell of burger is my mouth watering and it's incredible when I take a bite. It's striking how easy it is for TJ to just put on a smile and act cheerful. It makes me wonder how much of it is actually genuine. So I'm almost halfway done my burger by the time Julian is angrily called back to the kitchen by a cook. TJ goes quiet again and starts plucking at his salad. I swallow and sit down my burger, my stomach turning a bit of what I'm planning to say. I was thinking about before we got here.
About what?
That maybe we could use the time we have here to remember what happened, to find... TJ finally looks at me, and the sadness I see in his eyes makes my heart plummet. Closure? TJ's quiet, staring at his salad. I don't know, man. I just know how bad it is for you still. I just want to figure out how we can... I search for the right words. Be at peace with it. TJ's still quiet. I don't know, man. I finally say and slump into my booth. I finally say and slump in my booth, feeling like I've ruined the evening.
How would we do that?
His tone is shaky but genuinely curious. I don't know. Talk about it. Talk about the others. Not Flynn, just the others. TJ looks out the window again. Maybe even go to the lake. Talk about it there. I don't know. I almost choke on the words lake, still worried about saying it in front of TJ.
Maybe.
Maybe? TJ sighs and finally looks at me with a small smile.
Maybe. But right now, I just want to hang out with you and have a good time, okay?
Okay.
So stop being so angry. It's making me sad.
I pick up my burger, my stomach loosening up enough that I feel I can eat again. Sorry, I was just looking forward to...
And stop apologizing.
He says it with a smirk, almost immediately frowns.
I mean, sorry, that was rude.
I laugh at him and he smiles back. I take another bite and look out the window. I feel a lot better now and I'm pretty sure that I only passed out because I didn't have any food in me. By the way, did you ever see that tarantula again after the first time you saw it? TJ shudders.
Oh, no, thank goodness.
I look out the window at the brilliant sunset. Ah, that's good. He tries to walk away from me, but I kick him in his lower back and he goes stumbling forward onto his knees. He stays there, not bothering to move at all. I glare at the back of his head, breathing hard. How does it feel when it's happening to you? My voice shakes as I yell at him. I'm not used to doing something like this. It feels so... gross. But at least at the same time I feel like I'm finally teaching him a lesson. He said it coming for so long. Why are you so mean to him? He doesn't answer, instead of slowly getting up to his feet, wiping his face with the back of his hand. I told him I'd come out here to make I told him to come out here to make one of his treasure hunts, so I could confront him like this. It's not going how I thought it would, though. He's just standing there, not saying anything. Finally, he starts to walk away again, shoulders slumped, ears and tail down. I feel another burst of anger following him. I quickly overtake his slow pace and shove him as hard as I can in the back. His head snaps back before he falls flat on the stomach in the ground. He stays there for a good long while I stare at him. I can't remember what happened after that. Thursday. There's a dull throbbing in my head when I wake up on the remnants of a raging headache that I had yesterday. I take some Tylenol and TG goes to the bathroom so he doesn't see. So I take some Tylenol when TG goes to the bathroom so he doesn't see. I don't want to worry him. While he's taking one of his insanely long showers, I go down to the lobby and get some breakfast. When I come back into the room balancing 2 plates of bagels, bacon and eggs, I'm surprised to see TG already done. He's busy brushing his fur in the mirror, trying to tame the comical fluffed up look he has going on.
I can't believe I forgot my shampoo. Look at how ridiculous I look.
He holds his arms out to me and Jenna. Jenna grunts, not really paying attention as she types furiously at her laptop. I think it's kinda cute. TJ smiles.
You mean funny?
No, I think you just look a little bit chubby. I smirk at TJ's mortified look as I set the plates down on the table, which forces Jenna to push her laptop aside for a moment. TJ opens a packet of jam and butter before spreading it neatly on a bagel cut in half. I watch as some of it sticks the long fur around his mouth as he nibbles on it. He wipes it away with a napkin only to start the process all over again.
It's so sad that you're going to spend all your time doing homework, Jenna. I'm taking 2 midterms the Monday we get back, so it's fairly necessary, TJ.
Jenna doesn't even look up from her laptop as she responds, focusing solely on whatever she's typing. I'm pretty sure she shoved half a bagel into her mouth before she went back to work. TJ just sits there quietly for a moment, taking another bite.
You think you'll have time to do anything today?
Jenna doesn't answer for a few seconds, only the sound of a faint patter of the keyboard. Finally, she stops and looks up for the first time in probably an hour.
I don't think so. I have a lot of work to do. Why don't you two go out and do something? We will. It would just be nice if you could go with us.
I snort. Yeah, come with us and do more work at Janice's house again. TJ lowers his ears.
Again?
TJ takes another bite of his bagel and doesn't look like he's going to say anything. I sigh. Yeah, she kind of cornered him and got him to say he'd do more work. Jenna rolls her eyes and returns her attention back to the laptop.
Janice taking advantage of people? Shocker. Jenna.
TJ processed quietly.
You know she used to give me some sort of sob story at the diner to get me to tip better?
TJ frowns.
Well, she does have a tough life, Jenna.
Despite being annoyed at having to go back to Janice's, I find myself sitting with TJ. I think you do whatever you can to make money. It's probably hard to own a house just as a waitress.
Yeah, well, maybe don't be a waitress in a shit crap town. She could at least try to find something else if it's that hard.
TJ is still frowning, his ears down. I could tell he wants to say something more about Jenna's intimidating figure to try and argue with. It's quiet for another minute before Jenna sighs loudly.
Sorry, I'm just a little stressed out right now. I have a lot of stuff to get done. It's alright. I wish we could help you out.
Oh, it's that one. Jenna laughs without any humour.
Yeah, I wish you could too.
TJ falls silent, staring at the small piece of bagel held between his fingers. My phone buzzes in my pocket and I take it out, surprised to see a text from Carl. Yo. I stare at it for a moment. Huh. Hi. Who
is it?
TJ asks around the last bite of bagel, holding a napkin daintily in front of his mouth as he chews. Carl. Jana's typing stops again.
Really? How's he doing?
I don't know. He seems okay. I realised then I hadn't really had a chance to ask Jenna or anyone else what happened with Carl yesterday.
Where was he? Leo said you guys found him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenna pauses, staring at the screen of her laptop. What happened?
I really don't know. Flynn found him in the crawl space, apparently. The crawl space.
For some reason I get chills running up my arms.
What in the world was he doing down there?
Jenna shakes her head.
When I went down there, he was just sitting on the ground and Flynn told me to leave.
I raise my brows and TJ gives me a confused look.
He was standing in front of him, so I couldn't see him, like, if he was upset or something.
What's he doing? Jenna shrugs.
Flynn took him upstairs and we left after that. Was he, like, drunk or something?
TJ seems to try and word it delicately. Jenna shrugs again and turns back to her writing.
He's always high, isn't he?
I look back down at my phone. Wanna hang out? Is he that high right now? Takes a second to figure it out. When I do, I look back up at TJ. What time does Janice want us over?
We'll go in the evening when it's not so hot.
TJ looks down and lowers his ears again. Because I don't want TJ to get all apologetic again, I keep talking. Do you want to go hang out with Carl? TJ smiles.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Alright then. For some reason though, I can't shake the feeling that something is off. Stepping out the parking lot, TJ immediately starts heading for the road while I pause by the car, holding my keys. Hello, Mr. Bang.
Hello.
How you doing? How's your... Let me just give you a shout out when I can spell. I was not following the wonderful Mr. Bang. You should, because he's an awesome dude and his partner's a fantastic artist. And you should follow them both. Anyway, let's continue. TJ turns around. Are we walking? I look up the road towards the foothills of the mountains. Carl's house is an intimidating speck in the distance, barely visible through the heat haze.
Oh, did you want to drive?
I shield my eyes against the sun, only just over the mountains, but still promising a hellscape by noon. I mean, did you want to walk? I can see TJ's demeanour deflate a little as he starts walking back towards me in the car.
We can drive.
He smiles at me, but I sigh and shove my keys back into my pocket. No, we can go for a walk. Gives us more time to talk anyway.
Oh, okay.
He just smiles and waits for me to catch up to him before we start up the road. While I'm not looking forward to trekking back to Janice's house in the heat, I'd rather TJ be in an upbeat mood. We're pretty quiet on the way up. It isn't until we're passing Janice's house that I finally break the silence. Man, did you have to say yes? I groan half teasingly, shoving my shoulder into his, sending him almost stumbling a little ways on the road.
Sorry.
Is it so hard to say no?
Well, yeah, it definitely is.
I sigh. It'd be fine if we weren't on vacation with friends we might never see again. TJ sulks a bit.
Don't say that.
It's kinda true. I remember when the trip is already sort of ruined because of Flynn.
Anyway, it's not that easy. Not that easy, Chase. Especially when she's all smiling and expectant like that.
You should stop letting people take advantage of you. TJ stares at the ground.
Sorry.
Stop apologizing. TJ flattens his ears and I realise that my tone might have been a little too harsh. Okay, now I'm sorry. I'm mostly joking, but it's frustrating to see you get pushed around.
I don't really get pushed around.
I ignore him. And get taken advantage of.
She doesn't take advantage of me.
Why do you think she only asks you for these things? He opens his mouth, but I don't let him answer. Because she knows he'll say yes. That's basically the definition of taking advantage of someone. I nudge him again with my shoulder, but he manages not to fall into the road this time. You gotta be a little more assertive. Stand up for yourself more. TJ shoves his hands in his pockets.
Sorry.
Alright.
Yawning. So, just say no for people?
Not just when it comes to saying no. Stand up Do people being mean to you too? I don't mention Flynn, but I'm pretty sure he knows what I'm getting at. I try to give him an encouraging smile, but he doesn't look at me. Feels great, man. Once you do it once, you can't stop. TJ looks away out into the desert. It sounds like oh, sorry.
It sounds like you just want me to be mean to me.
I shake my head. You can be nice and assertive at the same time. It's a good combination. TJ's quiet for a few minutes as we start the painful uphill portion of the trek towards Carl's mansion.
I do it because I like to do it, you know?
I'm starting to pant a little. My short, stubby legs are already burning.
I like to help her out. It feels good.
Like, it makes you feel better about yourself?
It makes me feel better about a lot of things.
There's a sudden shift in his tone that cuts me off from saying anything else. The tone I'm not used to hearing from him, and I wonder if I went too far with the whole being assertive thing. I feel like there's a whole lot more going on under the surface, but now doesn't feel like the time to delve into it. I try to think of something else to talk about to change the subject. Anyway, maybe the apologising thing is just part of your heritage? TJ laughs, dispelling the tension easily.
Maybe.
Well, if you do go back, at least you'll fit in with all the nice people.
It's just a stereotype, and not all that true. There were mean people in Waskatchewa.
Not like here, though. TJ nods.
Yeah, not like here.
We're quiet for a few more minutes. Carl's house promisingly close now. I'm distracted, looking up at it when suddenly TJ's shoulder kicks me right off the road, tripping me over my own feet into a sagebrush. What the hell? I shout as I lay in the dark dust cloud clearing to reveal a mortified TJ standing over the side of the road.
Oh my gosh, I did not mean to knock you over, I'm so...
He catches himself and the horrified look is still in his face. I stare up at him for a while, then burst out laughing. I see his tail and ears relax, his flipped out fur laying back down. He smiles, seemingly relieved. You're learning. He rubs his shoulder sheepishly.
I guess so.
We stand a good couple of minutes on Carl's doorstep, ringing the doorbell over and over. I can hear the heavy beat of some hip-hop song through the door and ground. Ground?
Probably a boombox.
I swear the windows look like they're about to bust with how much they're shaking. Finally, I send him a text and that's where the music stopped and the door swing open. As he does, TJ and I are blasted with a wave of pot and a touch of booze lingering underneath. Carl grins at us under eyes bloodshot and fur messed up.
What the fuck took you guys so long to get here?
TJ frowns, rubbing his nose inconspicuously. I think I've ever seen Carl this far gone. I stare at him as he stares back at us, his grin never wavering. I finally break the silence. Are you okay? Carl suddenly gets a very serious look in his face.
Chase.
Gravely, he reaches out to put both his paws on my shoulders.
I have.
He smirks, then sets his face sternly again.
Never felt better.
He brings me into a hug and whispers fiercely into my ear.
I'm so glad you're here.
He suddenly shoves me back and whirls on TJ, who cringes. Carl goes after him, sweeping him off his feet like the lynx is a brand new bride.
Carl! Get inside before you get heat stroke fluff cheeks.
I stand there on the doorstep as Carl takes the cat inside, TJ throwing me a wide-eyed look over the ram's broad shoulder. I stare back, wondering if this is such a good idea before stepping in. Pot smell aside, the coolness of the mansion is a welcome relief in this quickly rising heat behind me. I'm just in time to see Carl toss TJ onto a two-cushion couch before flopping onto a bigger one across from it. He smiles at me and pats the cushion next to him. I sit down on the last cushion, leaving a space between the two of us. I'm just a little worried about how handsy he's being right now. Carl shrugs and kicks up his feet on the cushion between us, tapping me with his hooves. We sit there for an agonisingly awkward 10 seconds before TJ clears his throat.
So, Carl, how have you been?
Carl rolls his head and shoulders to snap his gaze in the direction of TJ, who gulps.
Been just peachy, you get me?
TJ's ears twitch.
Yes. Super-y.
Carl giggles quietly to himself. He stares at the ceiling for a while, continuing to tap me with his hooves. I look down and see that they are leaving hoof-shaped prints of white dust on my pants.
Man, I'm glad you guys are here. I thought I was gonna go crazy. How come?
Carl interlocked his fingers behind his head.
In this house, man, you're crazy in it when there's no one else around. Flynn spent the night, but then he had to go to work. Ah.
DJ seems to have run out of things to say, leaning back on the couch as his tail twitches around nervously. Carl doesn't seem to mind though, staring peacefully at the ceiling. I exchange glances with TJ, who shrugs worriedly at me. I look at the massive flat screen. You wanna watch something? Carl flicks his eyes to the TV.
Have you seen the Lucy Lobo movie?
I have to think about that. Not since last summer, I think.
I haven't. It's the fucking shit, dudes.
Carl sticks his legs in the air, swiveling on his butt before launching himself off the couch to land on his hooves awkwardly. He stumbles, falling into TJ's couch. Had to make sure that was the word couch.
Yep.
The Lynx tries to steady him, but the ram is up before he can, grabbing the remote. Suddenly he spins around and tosses his phone at me. I have to lunge to catch it.
Chase, please order us a goddamn pizza. I am starving.
What? I stare at his phone. He sighs loudly at me.
The Gigano's app? Gigano. Sorry.
It takes me a second to find it in the sea of random game apps. Oh, so what do you guys want?
I'll shove anything from Gianna's into my fat face.
I stare at him.
So order anything.
Okay. I end up letting TJ pick the topping since he's got that special dietary where he can't eat gluten. Once I've ordered the extra large pizza, Carl's already started up the movie. I didn't know anyone delivered out here. Carl sits down with a beer in his hand and I wonder if I should tell him not to drink anymore. Honestly, I don't know if the way he's acting is more due to pot or the drink. He grins.
That's what's so great about Gianna's. They'll deliver anywhere if you pay.
He takes a swig and belches.
Price of delivery is the same as the fucking pizza though.
He stares at me for pointing at his beer.
You want one?
I glance at TJ, who's staring hard at the screen. Maybe I'll have one with pizza. Me and TJ have some yard work to do for Janice. Carl wrinkles his nose.
Lame. Do you want to go with us, Carl?
Carl thinks and then gives a massive shrug.
I can tag along. Might not be able to do any of the real work though.
He pats his stomach.
I swear to God I'll hurl. That's fine.
TJ smiles, but Carl seems to be watching a movie now, which is already a few minutes into the intro. The pizza doesn't arrive for another hour, and when it finally does, the slices are almost room temperature. Still, with a pizza, beer, and a movie, I start to kind of enjoy myself. By the end of it, Carl seems to have sobered up a little bit. Not a whole bunch, but to the point that he's at least coherent. He turns off the TV and sighs, flat on his back on the couch at this point. His foot locks against my lap. Across my lap.
Fucking stuffed.
I agree, and now I'm feeling less inclined to go over to Janice's place. JJ pulled out his phone and is now staring at it with his ears lowered. I'm about to ask him what's wrong, but that's when Carl nudges me with his leg.
Hey, you guys want to play a game?
I look at him cautiously. What kind of game? Carl looks around and finds a row of 3 bottles on the ground next to the couch, 2 of them empty, 1 half empty.
Never have I ever.
TJ gives a nervous laugh.
But Carl, I don't drink. Give it a try.
I frown, giving Carl a look. Or we could just do 10 fingers, you don't have to drink for that one. Carl pouts.
Well, you're boring as hell today, Chase. Alright, we'll do both. You guys can do the 10 fingers bullshit.
He struggled to sit up, burping again when he does. He leans over with a groan and picks up his beer.
Okay, I'll go first.
He holds up 10 fingers. TJ does the same, somewhat reluctantly.
Never have I ever
Carl seems to think hard, then grins.
had sex.
TJ's ears flatten and I glare at Carl. Really? We're going there already? Carl shrugs.
What? That's the first question everyone asks.
I lower a finger, still glaring. Isn't this a game about getting to know things with people that you don't already know about? Look over at TJ, not surprised to see all of his fingers still up, though he's blushing. I'm surprised you haven't, though you've had girlfriends. Carl sneers at me.
Turns out having to lift up my own guts, they can suck me off, turns them off. Never gone past that.
So they still sucked you off?
Blowjobs don't count.
Yeah, they do. It's called oral sex.
Nah, man.
I suddenly become very aware of the beat-fed link sitting across from us. I cough loudly and sit up straight, trying to think of something interesting that's still G-rated for TJ. Never have I ever been in a fight, a physical fight, I mean. Carl takes a drink, TJ's fingers stay up. Who did you fight?
Where the fuck have you been? Remember Clint?
Oh yeah. TJ starts to lower his finger too, then stops.
Well, he mostly attacked us. We didn't really fight back. It's not really a fight.
Oh. Guess we'll save in case this is a thingy point. I have a feeling this is one of those that they all happen. I guess we'll throw him to the ground. Carl shrugs.
Me and Flynn have gotten into it before.
Well, you already took a drink, so I look over at TJ. Your turn. TJ looks off to the side, seeming to think hard.
Never have I ever failed a test.
TJ grins. I lower a finger, smirking, but Carl lets out a snort.
Cute.
The amount of disdain in the voice is me looking over him, but he's already chugging down his beer. The burp seems to shake the couch.
Alright, never have I ever kissed a dude.
Carl.
What? I've never actually seen you kiss Leo, so... Oh, maybe wait, I have. Meh?
He shrugs again. I lower a finger, rolling my eyes. TJ, of course, doesn't. As I'm trying to think of my own question, I suddenly feel something warm press against the side of my face. I blanch away out of instinct and turn to find Carl, with his eyes closed and lips puckered.
Carl?
TJ sits on the couch, his face a portrait of comically cartoonish shock.
Alright, now I have.
Carl takes a big gulp of beer. I'm not sure how to react, but TJ's reaction is enough to make the whole thing seem funny, instead of, like, sexual harassment. I mean, you can't do that after the question's been asked, right? Carl puts his chin in his fist, fluttering his eyes in the way that he probably thinks is seductive.
You can look it up if you want.
I shake my head, wiping the side of my face as I try to think. Never have I ever flown in an airplane. Carl and TJ both lower a finger.
Really? That's crazy.
I shrug. Hardly ever been out of the state in my life.
That's tragic.
It kind of is. And so it goes. The game continues for another 20 minutes, most of the questions innocent enough. Still, I notice that every time TJ takes his turn, Carl gets more and more agitated. Never have I ever done drugs, never have I ever been late to class, never even gotten less than an A- in a test. Still, I can tell TJ is directing most of it at me. Partly because he's being mischievous, partly because I think he's genuinely trying to figure me out. Carl's mood continues to sour as it all seems to build into the 6th round.
Never have I ever been in a car accident.
I lower a finger.
You've crashed before?
I mock glare at him. Why do you automatically assume it was my fault? My dad was driving and we got rear-ended.
Oh.
That's where I noticed that Carl hasn't spoken since the question was asked. I look over at him and see he's got the bottle resting on his knee as he watches TJ. I lean over to poke him. You okay? He glances at me before turning back to TJ.
You knew I'd been in an accident.
TJ looks at Carl confused.
I did? Yeah. I told you at the motel when you first got here. Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, okay.
TJ continues to look confused. Carl stares at his lap for a while, and I start to wonder if the game is over. Then he looks up and stares at TJ, rubbing his chin. Oh, sorry.
That's alright.
He seems to be thinking hard.
Never have I ever...
Wait. Carl smiles.
Never have I ever killed someone.
What follows is dead silence. Carl stares straight at TJ, still with a smile on his face. TJ still looks confused.
That's a weird thing to say. Is it?
TJ freezes up as if ice-cold water had been dumped over his head. I look at Carl slowly, but he's not looking at me at all. TJ's clenched paws rest in his lap, his face expressionless, almost as if he realised what Carl's getting at. We sit in silence for what seems like almost a minute. Carl finally breaks the frozen portrait that we're all in, leaning back into the couch.
You know, my life has been going downhill since that happened.
TJ and I don't say anything, both of us watching Carl.
School, grades, drugs, whatever. I don't know, seems like it all started after whatever it was that happened.
Carl looks pointedly at TJ again. Carl? My voice comes out shocked and bewildered. That seems to get through to him a little bit, his long ears flicking down briefly. TJ continues to stare back at him, reminding of how he looked when Flynn was having a go at him. Carl finally looks down away from TJ.
So I was in the crawl space the other day and I found an old letter from Sydney.
I don't say anything, neither does TJ. Carl waits a while, then goes on.
I haven't opened it. Said it was a treasure hunt on the front.
A treasure hunt. Sydney absolutely loved treasure hunts. He was always making them in his spare time. They were usually pretty bad, and the prizes at the end were always pretty awful. It would always take us to some convincing on his part to get us to go on one.
Don't know why I have it, but it made me...
Carl stops talking, closes his eyes, pressing himself deeper into the soft cushions of the couch.
Maybe if we knew what happened, we could fix some of our problems.
TJ finally stands up and Carl's eyes snap open when he does. I watch him too, having no idea what he's about to do. Because of the look in his face, I wonder if he's about to actually do something violent, attack Carl or something. His expression is dark, not like I've ever seen him, even when Flynn was yelling at him. Instead, though, he just stands there for a few moments staring at Carl. Carl looks away again, his ears lowered.
Self-improvement starts with realising what the actual problem is, Carl.
That didn't sound like TJ at all, even the voice. Carl seems shocked as well as he finally looks up at the links.
Stop blaming others and start blaming yourself.
His voice calm and smooth but ice cold. TJ turns on his heel and stalks towards the door, his fur fluffed out. I finally snap out of it and stand up as TJ opens the door. I take one last look at Carl, who's slumped on the couch with his head down. I'll call you later, okay, Carl? Carl doesn't say anything, so with that I hurry out the door that TJ left open. I catch up with the links about 100 yards down the road, trying to match his brisk pace. It's late afternoon at this point, and the heat hits me like a ton of bricks. Sweat already threatens to drip off my chin as I approach TJ. He slows down when he hears me panting, letting me catch up. We walk in silence for a good 15 minutes, and I almost jump when TJ finally speaks up.
Can you believe he did that?
I take a few deep breaths, gathering the time I need to form a response. I think he's just really high and drunk. TJ shakes his head.
He knew what he was saying.
Sure, but his inhibitions are down. TJ isn't as upset as I thought he would be, at least not in the way I thought he would be. Instead, he seems more angry than anything.
I think it's because he's been talking to Flynn. Who knows what he's been saying to him?
That could definitely be the case. TJ finally sighs and stares at the ground, his ears falling. I can tell he's about to finally start crying, so I quickly put my arm around his shoulder. Hey, it's okay. He was seriously drunker than I've ever seen him. He's not going to remember any of this. He doesn't look up. TJ, you were a huge reason why we're all stuck together at this point. We've all stuck together at this point. TJ doesn't say anything. I see his eyes watering up. I could be making it worse, but I give his shoulder another squeeze. You're the glue, and like I've said, Carl's blaming his own problems on everyone else. This has nothing to do with you. TJ sighs, leaning against me a little. I take this as a good sign and nudge him. Listen, let's get to Janice's place and get those chores out of the way. After that, we can get some ice cream at Ray's, okay?
Alright.
TJ lets out a small laugh as we continue down the road for another 10 feet like that. Then he suddenly pulls away from me, faces me, and hugs me tight. He buries his face in my chest as I feel his finger clenched in the back of my shirt. He holds me like that for a long time. We get to Janice's house a good half an hour later, me covered in sweat, TJ airing out his shirt. It's 5 at this point, the sun is still pounding down the back of my head like a lead weight. Janice appears at the door almost a second we knock, and I can tell immediately something's off. First of all, she's got no pants on. I catch a glimpse of her large white panties before I snap my eyes back up, staring hard at the coyote's face. I can't see TJ, but the funny way he's breathing I am pretty sure he noticed as well. Janice spreads out her hands, grinning.
Well, I'll be. You made it.
We gawk at her for another few seconds before TJ finally squeaks out.
Yeah, of course.
Janice suddenly steps forward towards the lynx and cups his face in her hands. I keep my eyes up, trying to focus on her face. She squishes TJ's face to the point where his lips purse out a little.
You, TJ, are a lifesaver. You know that?
She says it sincerely, and I can see TJ trying to pull back. Unfortunately, it also looks like the coyote has a good grip on his face because everything but his head moves back.
Thanks. Nah.
He just tries to speak with his squashed face. Janice, what do you want us to do today? I break in, hoping to move our attention away from ripping TJ's cheeks off. She seems really to be enjoying the tufts of fur there.
Oh, Chase, you're here too?
Yeah, we're going to work on it together.
Well, alright. How about I head out there now and show you two?
My eyes flick down to her bottom half for just a second and I immediately regret it. There's no way around it. You want to get dressed first? Janice looks down.
Oh, that. Well, I've just got to apologize now. I was in the middle of getting ready for work. Just forgot what I was doing.
I glance at TJ, then quickly back at the coyote. Oh, well, we can wait.
Nonsense, it'll only take a sec.
I'm left open-mouthed, following the coyote automatically as TJ follows closely behind me. A quick glance around reassures me that there isn't anyone around at the moment, but if someone does come around. Janice marches us out to the back with a few wooden remnants of the shed we'd moved earlier. She points to the ground.
I want you two to dig a hole right there.
TJ stays slightly behind me as if using me for a shield for Janice's shameless immodesty. A hole?
Yep, about a rectangle from here to here.
Janice marks a line in the dirt with her foot before walking about 5 feet in the other direction and marking another line.
And 3 feet wide. And at least 3 feet deep, if not more.
I nod through her instructions, just trying to get through this as quickly as possible. Okay, what are we doing this for? Janice stops, scratching the back of her head.
A pool. Gonna have a pool back here. A pool?
Yeah, nice little...
nice.
Oh, sorry.
Nice little pool.
She grins at us and I quickly nod at her. Okay, we'll get to work. Shovels in the garage, right? I'm doing everything I can to get her back inside.
Yep, need anything else? I can make you lemonade before I leave.
No, we'll just get water if we need it.
Well, alright. No need to finish it today if you can't. I know how hard it is.
Janice turns to leave, but not before reaching and pinching TJ's cheek almost viciously. He squints her eyes, ears flattening as he just stands there and takes it. And with that, she hums her way back to the house. I wait until I hear the door close. Oh my god, she's gone insane. TJ stays quiet, staring at the spot on the ground where Janice marked out. Seriously, maybe we should go.
No, she's probably just having another off day or something.
I shake my head. And this definitely is not a pool. TJ kicks at the dirt and shivers to see a small spider skitter along the ground. Either she's lost it, and we're doing nothing here, or we're digging a grave.
Oh, come on, Chase.
This was a bad idea. I hear the garage door opening and shut my mouth. A car engine starts up, then I see an old, rusty white sedan pull out of the driveway. Janice waves at us and blows a kiss, what I'm pretty sure is directed at TJ. Then she pulls off like she's a drag racer to the diner that's less than a mile away. Who do you think she's on her way to murder?
Stop.
I look back at TJ. You think she's even put her pants on? TJ shudders and looks back at the ground.
Let's just get this done. Then I promise I won't do any more chores for her, okay?
I sigh. Alright. Just remember whose fault it is if she ends up being our grave. If this ends up being our grave. The work is tougher than I thought it would be. Both start-ups end the little trench that we're making. Janice said we should do more than 3 feet if we could, but this whole thing is bullshit. Which I'm sure it is. Then I'm not doing any more than the minimum. At least I'm glad to see TJ returning back to the cheerful bubbly self. We even almost get a dirt clod war. Clod war? Well, the spelling mistake 4. But that comes to a quick end, won't it?
It's like a packed bit of earth.
Ah.
Yeah.
But that comes with a click end when I hit TJ in the thigh with a rock-filled one. About 2 hours later, the sun is comfortably low and we're a little over halfway done. It's at that point I get a text message from Carl. I take a quick glance at my phone, saying one word apology of sorry. I look at it for a while until TJ finally peers up.
Everything okay?
I debate whether or not to tell him now that he's in such a good mood. It's hard to tell exactly what will make TJ feel better or worse, I've come to realise. Still, I think he can tell it's probably from, and judging by how he's slanted back his ears are. It's from Carl. Just says he's sorry.
Ah.
TJ stops digging, pressing his shovel into the darker, moist dirt at the bottom of the trench.
That's it?
That's it.
Are you going to respond?
I don't know. Should I? TJ starts digging again.
Yeah.
TJ tilts his head down.
I need to apologise too.
No, that seems more like TJ. Well, what should I say? TJ stops digging again and looks up at me. I look up at him expectantly.
Okay, so I'm trying to be more assertive, like you said.
Oh? Didn't expect him to say that. Is that why... TJ looks down, so I stop myself. Is that why he acted so strange at Carl's mansion? Sorry, never mind. What were you saying?
So I'm just going to say this. I was thinking about that treasure hunt Carl found.
For a moment, I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, the thing you found in the crawl space?
I was thinking...
TJ leans in the shovel's handle, looking away.
Thinking that we should open it together.
Okay. I say it slowly, realising how delicate of a topic this is. Is there a reason why you want to open it? TJ sighs deeply, looking up at the deep red and orange sky.
I feel like... I always feel like things are happening for a reason. I was just talking about finding closure yesterday.
Okay.
So I feel like this might be a way to do it, maybe. Read the... what he had to say. Maybe go on one of his last hunts.
TJ swallows hard. I can sort of see where he's coming from. Sydney always wrote stupid riddles and stories with his treasure hunts. It might mean something to read something he wrote so long ago. Okay. I keep coming up short with what I want to say. Again, I can see why TJ might think this is the answer, but I'm not so sure. Well, I guess we could ask Carl about it. Did you want everyone there?
Maybe just us. We can let the others read it later if they want. I don't think Flynn...
I nod quickly. Yeah, that makes sense. So, want to do that tomorrow?
See if we can do it tonight. We've only got a few days left and this is making me nervous.
TJ gives a tight laugh. Yeah, Sydney's treasure hunts could be pretty elaborate.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Are we starting to be able to talk about him normally again? Maybe TJ is right about this. Okay, I'll text him back and ask if we can call him.
Okay.
It takes me a little bit to figure out how to word TJ's request. While I wait for Carl's response, TJ abruptly looks back at me.
Are you and Carl, friendly with each other?
Huh?
I mean, how he kissed you.
What? No. I laugh. That was just Carl being drunk.
Okay.
TJ goes back to digging, his ears twitching around. I grin. What, are you jealous?
No.
He says it way too fast and loud. Hey, if you want to give me a kiss, I don't mind. TJ doesn't respond, instead focusing hard on the ground he's digging up. Oh, if you're shy, I can do it instead. I see how his eyes widen, but he still doesn't say anything. I make kissy sounds at him, but when he flings up some dirt at me, smattering my pants with dark brown spots. Oh, come on. I see TJ smirks and goes right back to work. I'm thinking about picking another dirt clod, but that's when my phone buzzes again.
Okay.
We walk slowly up the length of Carl's driveway, our shadows covering the entire length of the light of the sunset. TJ's starting to drag his feet again as we get close to the door, and I stop looking back at him. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure? We don't have to do this today. We can come back tomorrow. TJ shakes his head, taking a swig of water from the water bottle we bought at the convenience store on the way here.
No, I'm just a little tired. It's been a long day.
Yeah. I wait for TJ to catch up, and then match his stride as we make our way up the sidewalk, then up the steps to the door. TJ doesn't do anything, instead just gripping onto the water bottle, making the plastic creak. I wait another second, then reach out across TJ to ring the doorbell. The faint, fancy chime emanates from behind the door with a few seconds, followed by the clapping of Carl's hooves on the wooden floor. There's a pause when she reaches the door, and I imagine him hesitating as he reaches for the door handle. A second later, though, it swings open, revealing a very bleary, red-eyed ram. Carl blinks at us a few times through bright orange sun behind us. Finally, he steps aside, opening the door wider.
Hey guys.
There's a pause. I wait to see if TJ will say anything. When he doesn't, I clear my throat and step forward through the door. Hey man, you okay?
Not really.
I didn't say anything in return, instead spreading my arms out in the cool air of the mansion. I turn around and wait as TJ steps through the doorway, the links framed by the golden sunlight. The fine hairs of his fur light up like white hot wires. I see Carl's hand is not on the door, sort of twitch, like he's grabbing something in the air.
Hey.
TJ stands next to me, looking back at Carl.
Hello.
Carl rubs vigorously at his arms.
Listen.
Carl pauses. I get the idea he's wanting TJ to tell him everything's okay so he doesn't have to explain anything. That would definitely make things easier. But he doesn't say anything, just watches the ram. Carl rubs behind his head for a second, looking back out the door. I'm not sure why it's so hard for him to apologise to TJ. I had thought it was weird that Carl had apologised to me instead of the links in the first place.
Listen.
Carl takes a big shuddery breath, blowing it out loudly.
I was really messed up earlier. I wasn't thinking right.
TJ continues to watch Carl silently. His ears are up at least. Carl stutters and stumbles over a few more syllables before he continues.
Yeah, and I wasn't thinking straight.
He scuffs the hardwood floor loudly with a hoof.
And I don't think he did anything like that. He's just pissed off.
TJ is quiet for a few more seconds, but Carl doesn't offer anything more.
So, why were you angry?
Carl sighs and leans his head back against the door, his horns knocking loudly against it.
He said some shit that an ass heard about, okay? It wasn't your fault.
TJ folds his arm, looking down.
Well, what was it I said?
Carl shakes his head.
Stupid shit. I mean, stupid because of me. Stuff about school, car accidents, just brought old stuff up for me. Oh. But I don't think you ever did anything like I said. I was just being a huge dick. Sorry.
His voice breaks a little at the end and he quickly looks at the floor, his ears down. TJ is again quiet. I think about changing the subject now that the apology is out of the way, but TJ speaks first.
Thanks, Carl, and I'm sorry I brought up stuff like that. I'll try to remember in the future.
Carl shakes his head, looking back up.
Not your fault.
We stand there awkwardly for another few seconds.
I guess. Thought maybe Flynn had been saying stuff to you. That's why he said it. Huh? Oh.
Carl's non-denial hangs heavy in the air. I haven't seen Flynn in days and I'm wondering what he's been up to in that time. I have to ask Carl when TJ isn't around. As of now, I want to change the subject because things are getting awkward. So, TJ had an idea about the scavenger hunt thing. Carl looks at me as if just now realising that I'm there.
Scavenger hunt? Oh yeah, the treasure hunt.
TJ scratches his arm, looking embarrassed.
Sydney's treasure hunt?
TJ scratches his arm, looking more and more flustered, so I jump in. Yeah, we're thinking about actually doing it. Maybe to find some closure? Carl frowns.
Really?
TJ stops scratching his arm, his ears coming back up.
Yeah, I believe things happen for a reason. That you found it now while we're here means something, I think. Man, I mean, it's really old. You think even any of the stuff will still be out there? Maybe, but I guess I'm not really looking to find anything. It's like a thing we can do while we remember him.
I think it's a good way to find closure. I tried to back TJ up under Carl's somewhat bewildered stare. The ram strokes his chin.
I guess that sort of makes sense. I mean, if you're okay with doing it.
TJ squares up his stance, looking up.
I am. It's been so long feeling this way. I feel like this might be our last chance to do something.
Carl looks over at me. I nod, indicating I feel the same way. I don't fully understand this new direction in TJ either, but I sure as hell support him.
Well, okay then. I'll go grab it. You want to just open it now? Let's go to the motel or something. With Jenna there too. Okay.
Carl finally shuts the door before making his way to the stairs. TJ seems to deflate then, shoulders hunching back in. No, wasn't so bad. I mumble to him once I think Carl's out of earshot.
Yeah, it was okay.
We stand there awkwardly as we wait. The whole situation is just so strange. Carl comes back with a crumpled looking white envelope in his hand. TJ eyes at the first standing up on the back of his neck.
So, you dudes want to drive back to the motel, or...?
Actually, we didn't drive. Carl drops his hands to the side.
Are you fucking serious? Like, I can't walk in the seat.
TJ did. I tug up some of the fur and links his neck to show Carl. TJ actually jumps a bit and I quickly let it go. I want to ask him what's wrong, but Carl keeps talking.
Oh boy, I just realised what TJ's flinching at. Remember the scene with Sydney and the thing around his neck?
Ah, right, yeah.
Fuck me. Man, I'm gonna smell like shit once we get there.
The sun's almost gone anyway. Carl smirks at me.
I sweat walking in the winter time.
You can take a shower at the motel. Carl blows his breath out loudly, frowning.
Okay, but I'm gonna put more deodorant on before we go.
Walk back isn't so bad. Carl makes it out to be a lot worse than it is with all his gasping and wiping his face constantly. TJ gets a text from Jenna to meet at the diner instead of the motel since she's going there for dinner anyway. Once we walk in, Carl looks at a gasping groan of relief that turns a few heads. Jenna looks up from the corner booth and waves at us. I wave back and start making her way over.
I'm gonna be going to the bathroom. Gotta wipe my pits.
TJ makes a sour face, then follows me to the table. Jenna scoots in so we can slide in beside her.
So, what's all this about?
Carl found a treasure hunt that Sydney made. Jenna toys with her brown leather purse, staring at it.
Okay, like a map or something?
I let her.
What are you going to do with it?
Well, I look over at TJ, but he doesn't say anything. Instead, looking out the window at the sunset. I'm thinking about doing it.
You're thinking about going on a treasure hunt?
Yeah.
I mean...
Jenna pauses, clearly trying to choose her words carefully.
Would there be anything left of it at this point? It would have been at least 11 years old by now.
Jenna looks over at TJ, studying his reactions. He doesn't give her anything though, to still staring out the window. I spread my hands over the table, instantly regretting that I feel the grease slide around under my pads. We're seeing it more as closure sort of thing, a send-off. We're not really expecting to find something. TJ finally looks back at us.
He made it for us. I feel like we should do it. For him.
Jenna stares back down at her purse.
I guess Flynn won't be involved.
No.
And Leo? He's going to be busy for most of the week. I don't think he'd really want to anyway. Why not?
Now TJ looks like he's trying to choose his words carefully.
He pretends like it never happened. I don't want to bring it back up for him.
No one says anything else till Carl shows back up, fur on his head and face a little wet.
Hey, Jenna. Carl?
Jenna nods at him as he sits across from me. He reaches across the table, snatching up a menu from the metal holder in the centre.
I'll pay if anyone wants something.
Jenna curls up a list in disgust, but I'm starving, so I start browsing the menu as well. TJ goes back to staring at the window, and I can hear his ears twitching around.
So, where's the treasure hunt thing?
Carl looks up and sees that Jenna's staring at him.
Huh? Oh, I have it. I'm gonna order real quick though, if Chase is ready.
I nod and Carl waves his menu at Janice, who quickly bustles our way with a tray of glasses of water. She's wearing pants now, but there's definitely still something off about her. Her eyes are wide, her smile more grimace as she sets down her glasses and straws. She takes her orders well enough though, and Jenna waits patiently as Carl and I order a meal and TJ gets a smoothie. Carl?
The image of a middle-aged coyote grimace smiling at me is just viscerally horrifying. Again, furries make good horror content, and not for the reason people think. You can do creepy shit with anthros, like werewolves. Werewolves are a thing. That, but it's a middle-aged fucking racist coyote high on meth. It's mortifying.
Yep. Carl methodically tears one end of the wrapper off his straw before he blows the other end, shooting the rest of the wrapper at me. I flinch and try to catch it, failing as it falls to the floor. Jenna clears her throat loudly.
So, where is it?
Carl looks at her, the straw still in his mouth.
Huh? Alright.
Carl reaches into his pocket and pulls out the envelope. He pushes it onto the table face up. There's writing in black marker on the front. Treasure hunt number 7. We all stare at it.
Should I read it?
Carl sets his hand down the letter.
Or someone else?
Carl's eyes briefly flick over to TJ, and then quickly look back down the letter. TJ's hand comes up, then surreptitiously scritches at an ear before letting it fall back to his lap. It does seem appropriate that TJ open it, but he doesn't want to. Carl looks just as hesitant, but so I reach out and gently slide it out with my from under his hand. I can read it. No one objects, so I open it carefully, not wanting to rip anything as I pry the adhesive apart. A chill goes up my spine for some reason. A strange, surreal vision comes to mind's eye of inky blackness leaking out of the envelope, spilling slowly across the table. I can feel it too, like a cold draft is wafting inside. I pause, feeling the emptiness in my chest. What the hell? I give my head a small shake, breaking out of the trance. I guess it's only natural to feel this way. That's Sydney's handwriting on the letter sealed after he licked it. He loved making these treasure hunts. It's really sad, so it makes sense that I'd feel this sudden drop in mood. I swallow as I continue to pry it open, feeling getting worse and worse as I do. When it's finally fully open, the feeling slowly subsides. Tension in the air seems to melt away too, and the whole town's just a sigh of relief. I look up for a moment at the others, wondering if they're feeling the same way. It's hard to tell as they're all looking intently down at my hands. I quickly look down again and stick my fingers inside, feeling a small piece of paper catch on my pad. Gently I press down on it and slowly slide it from the envelope. It's bright white copy paper folded once in half. It's been creased so long that it's the final part of the fold and the middle part, so that the edges are barely holding it together. Black blotches bleed through the paper, probably written in the same thick marker that was used for the envelope. I gently unfold it, not wanting to rip it apart more than it already has been. The big blocky black letters are sloppy and childish. even though that's only a few sentences, it covers the entire page. The last few words trail off on tiny, almost illegible scrawl. It droops. It droops off down to one side of the paper as Sydney realises he's ran out of room at the end. Okay, I clear my throat and I start reading aloud. Welcome to treasure hunt number 7. This is the biggest one yet, and it took us a long time. So no cheating this time. I'm talking about you, Carl and Chase. No skipping steps. First clue: these things fly really high. It's in their home with the comb. With my comb. These things fly really high. It's in their home with my comb. Chase, you don't have to do this one. I know you hate it. You'll see if you figure it out. Good luck, guys. Sid. I feel my throat close up just a bit as I stare down at his name. He always wanted to go by Sid, but it never stuck, so none of us ever did. It just didn't suit them. I didn't suit him. I look back up at the others. Carla's still staring at the paper and Teacher's looking out the window again. Jenna has her hands up to her mouth, staring as well.
Wow.
Then she wipes at her eyes and I look away. I guess I never really thought about how this might affect Jenna. She and Sydney never really got along because of the way he treated TJ. But still, he was just a kid like the rest of us. Carl lets out a ragged cough.
That whole cheating thing was totally on you, Chase, not me.
I look up at Carl, raising a brow. You're the one that told me to do it. Carl smirks.
And you're the one that did it. What did you do?
TJ asks quietly from his corner, finally looking away from the window. Well, Sydney liked to reuse certain hiding spots. I mean, there were only so many places he could use.
Yeah, and Chase went straight to Sydney's mailbox and ruined the whole thing like a boss.
I was like 8.
Turns out it was the last spot and he got the prize.
Carl makes finger quotes around the last word. Yeah, one of those plastic clapper things we used to get in elementary school for reading a lot.
He was so mad.
Yeah. I remember dropping it on the ground because of how lame it was. I also remember Sydney crying, but I'm not going to bring that up. Carl seemed to have at least lightened the mood though, and Jenna stopped wiping at her eyes. I'm starting to think TJ was right about this whole closure thing. I know what he's talking about for this one though. I tap the paper with a finger.
Yeah, it's the birdhouse. Birdhouse? Where's that? The forest.
TJ sits up straighter, ears as well.
The birdhouse is on one of the trees close to the road. Oh, well, I never went in there because of all the sorry stuff that would get in my fur.
TJ looks back at the window, sun gone now. The clouds in the sky are still tinged red.
Do you guys want to do it tonight? Really? It's getting kind of late and we still gotta eat.
Carol looks eagerly at the front counter though, the small rectangle that leads to the kitchen.
We can use Chase's car. Besides, it might be kind of fun in the dark.
TJ adds the last bit meekly.
Hell no. As long as you guys know where it is, it shouldn't be a problem.
Gently fold the letter back up and start tucking it back into the envelope.
What did he mean by saying you didn't have to do the last one? Do that one, Chase.
I look up at TJ, then back down the letter as I gently press the lid off the envelope closed. I thought I saw something and got scared one time. It was a long time ago though. At least that's what I think he's talking about. Jenna clears her throat, seeming to have collected herself.
I think I remember that. My parents told me about it.
I frown. Really? I didn't like the idea of that.
What did you see?
I shrug. A person in the trees. A hanging person.
Oh.
TJ shudders.
So, hell fucking no to go in there tonight then. Sorry for the F word, Tej.
It's fine. I saw a lot of things as a kid. I'm not going to tell them how I'm definitely still scared of that place. Besides, TJ looked really eager to start this. I'm not going to ruin it for him. No, but really that's not what's bothering me right now. I look down at my hands and trying to work out a timeline in my head. When was it that the incident happened in the forest? I thought I had been 10 at the time, so that was when it started going to a psychiatrist. And then I'd start going because of that. But that was impossible because
Here we are.
a plate with a massive burger and steak fries lands in front of my face. The big coyote sits smoothie down for TJ and an even bigger veggie burger down for Carl.
Hey Janice, is Julian working today?
Janice smiles at TJ.
No, dear, he's only here when I'm not. He'll be in tomorrow if you're looking for him. Okay, thanks.
Janice then clutches her tray to her chest and watches us for a moment.
Listen, Chase and TJ, why don't you come by my house again when you get the chance?
I look up at Janice and see that she's got a strange look on her face, confused and worried looking.
What's wrong, Janice?
TJ's voice is full of concern.
Did we do something wrong? No, you did everything wonderfully. I just want to talk about the way I acted the past few days.
Janice lets out an exasperated sounding laugh.
Not really sure what came over me. Just now realizing how strange it all was.
She glances at Carl.
But we can talk about it later, in person. Enjoy your dinner.
She bustles off, tray still held against her body. Carl watches her go, stuffing a few fries into his mouth.
What was that about?
The way Janice has looked at Carl makes me think she doesn't want him knowing about what happened. It just feels bad for making us work so much. I look over meaningfully at TJ.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
TJ quickly starts sucking on his straw.
Well, she should.
Jenna's sitting back in the booth and taking out her brush and starts grooming the fur on her face and head. I inconspicuously slide my plate a little further away from her. Well, once we finish, we can go get my car and head to the forest. As I lift my burger and take a bite, I look over at the counter and see Janice leaning over a notepad. Her shoulders are shaking and it takes me a moment to realise she's crying.
Janice is fucking fascinating. In the worst kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's definitely a kind of character that you think about. You know? More than us scared of her.
Yeah.
Also, they shed in each other's food. That's funny. Fucking fur. Fucking furries. The forest is really just a patch of trees on the side of the road near Leo's house.
Well, it's technically small, it still covers several acres, which is enough to get lost in. The sky is a soft blue now, just enough light to see by. It won't be long before that won't be the case though. I pull off to the side of the road in the spot where I think the birdhouse might be. It's been well over a decade since the last time I've seen it. This is probably where the treasure hunt is going to end considering the time that's passed. The birdhouse probably isn't even there anymore. We all step out the car in the warm evening air. Carl folds his arms on the hood of the car and grins at me.
See, even with the sun gone, it's roasting. At least you can drive me home now.
Yeah. I look over at Leo's house, but his truck is gone. TJ casts my glance.
I might tell him what's going on if we find something and you guys want him to join us.
TJ picks at his claws. It's alright. I give him a quick side hug as we step up to the edge of the trees. I can see why TJ doesn't want to tell Leo about this. He was right about Leo pretending it didn't happen. I can't imagine it would go well if we told him about trudging up old Sydney scavenger hunts.
So, where is it?
Jenna looks into the empty ditch between us and the forest, sprinkling our nose at the old scraps of garbage inside.
Well...
Carl looks up and down the tree line, squinting.
Kinda looks different now, but I think it's about here. It's like only 10 feet in, right?
Carl looks at me. That sounds about right.
We can fan out and check the trees that are that close to the road.
TJ jumps across the ditch slightly, much more lightly than the clumsy hop I execute right after. I land unevenly in the opposite incline and windmill my arms as I lean back. Oh no, he's not going to break his ankle again, is he?
Come on, Chase. Don't break your fucking ankle.
Carl starts laughing. Carl starts laughing before I even fall, but TJ reaches out and grabs me by the shirt, yanking me back up from the ditch. I fall into him awkwardly and quickly step back, brushing myself off, even though there isn't anything on me.
Are you okay?
I'm fine, thanks. I glare over Carl, who's still laughing.
Do you even try, man?
He leaps over easily, clearing the ditch along with a few more feet. That's not fair, I'm an otter.
Don't let that hold you back from achieving your dreams.
Jenna elects to delicately step around the garbage before climbing up the other side.
It's okay. You swim better than any of us, Chase.
I sigh. Thanks, TJ. I turn back to the forest, which is much darker as the light struggles to filter through the branches and leaves. Well, let's start before it gets too dark. As we spread out amongst the trees, I'm struck with how quiet it is. The only sound is the crunch of our feet in the dead vegetation that starts to fade as the others move further away from me.
Yeah, it's about 5:30, by the way.
Yeah, cool. We'll keep going till 1:45, and then we'll basically find the next place to stop after 1:45.
Yep, cool.
I zigzag through the trees, trying to get a look at the full circumferences. From what I remember, the birdhouse was a plain old wooden thing that hardly stood out from the trunk that it was attached to. We might not see it even when we're looking right at it. While it's been a long time, walking between these trees does bring back some memories. We stopped coming here after what happened to Sydney, mainly because this was his favourite place to hang out. He liked to play capture the flag here. I still remember how fast he was, how I'd only catch glimpses of his tail between the trees before he disappeared with the flag. His team won almost every time. The summer of 2002 was the last time we played. Sid had even begun getting along better with TJ then. That might have been the best summer of my life until that happened. It's almost like Echo saw us having too much fun and wanted to end it. For good. Sydney had still been a dick though. The image of Sydney whipping TJ mercilessly with a towel as we used the flag came to mind. I moved closer to the edge of the tree line before slanting back in again. Looking up between the branches to see that the sky is darker blue now. Pretty soon it'll be pitch black. It was about this light the last time I was here. I came alone when I was 10, maybe 9. It's hard to remember now, but I think I'd gone there because I was sad. I'd had good memories of the forest, so I thought maybe going there would make me feel better. I was standing in the forest waiting to see if I'd feel better. It didn't happen, so I'd sat down in the leaves and started crying. It was there for maybe 5 minutes before I heard some branches creaking above me. I'd looking and see the feet swinging around. This confused me, so I stood up and backed away, staring up as I slowly realised I was seeing a fox being hung by its neck.
It's James. Not James. John? John. Why have they got similar names?
Even now I can remember the way he looked, his overalls and his white shirt. His head had been tilted down towards me, his tongue lolling out of his muzzle, his eyes blank. I even remember what looked like pinkish red blood on the white fur of his chin. Then I tripped over a branch, and when I looked back up he was gone. I can't remember much after that except I'd gone home and told my parents. That ended with me seeing a doctor. They never found anything wrong with me, at least anything that might relate to seeing things. In the end we were told sometimes kids hallucinate and that would stop happening as I got older. I hugged myself, feeling cold and a little scared now that I brought up this old memory. While I know that I was at the age where kids hallucinate more often, I still can't get out of my mind how real it had been. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. Still, that's not exactly what's been giving me chills right now, because I just realised that that had been the summer after Sydney passed. That's why I was so sad, because I remembered how happy the summer before had been. So what Sydney wrote didn't make any sense, unless I'm going crazy. A creak behind me makes us jump and I whirl around, eyes scanning the branches, terrified what I might find. But there's nothing there, just branches creaking in the wind. I stare for a while longer before a shout from far down the line of trees makes me jump.
I found it.
It's TJ's voice, high-pitched and excited. I shake myself out of the trance and start jogging towards where the lynx's voice came from. Maybe I've confused things and I'm just remembering things incorrectly. It's the only thing that makes sense. As I come up on the lynx, Carl and Jenna are already there, standing around the tree trunk. Sure enough, a little wooden birdhouse is tied to the trunk with rusty wire.
I can't believe it's still here. It does look pretty beat up.
Jenna points to a little wooden plug in the opening.
It's closed up.
I think it's been closed this whole time.
I don't know. Maybe.
TJ pokes at the plug with a claw, then grips around the edges with his claws before gently pulling the wooden cork-like thing out.
One moment.
What will we find in the wonderful box?
I'm back.
Right, no problem. Thick, sticky-looking trail of cobwebs follow it. We all stare in the dark hole that's been revealed.
Chase, want to reach in there? I'm sure there aren't any spiders.
I shiver involuntarily.
I don't really want to either.
Jenna sighs while pushing past TJ. Bending over, she picks up a twig and sticks into the hole for twirling it around. When she pulls it back out, it's like she made a cotton candy cone of those spider webs. She drops that, then takes out her phone, turning on the flash before holding it up to the opening.
Oh,
So,
I do. Yes.
because I can hear the very
Yes.
sound of pub skis.
Yes. Sorry. Okay.
You
Thank
alright?
you.
Yeah, no, Jodie had to borrow my headphones.
Ah, right, okay, cool.
That's what that was. And then I didn't disconnect them from the laptop, I just turned them off. Because I'm smart like that. So Jodie trying to connect, it's like you're connecting back to this and the lovely sounds of echo. Well.
Well. We all wait anxiously for her to say something.
There's something in here.
With that, she reaches in with just her fingers. After a few crinkling sounds, she pulls a Ziploc bag and inside is a folded up piece of paper and a blue comb.
Holy shit, no way. Well, no one ever comes here, so I guess it makes sense.
What do you mean Bluetooth connected? You're a cat toy. What the fuck? Is my laptop trying to connect to the fucking cat toy? No, seriously, that fucking cat toy is haunted, I swear to God. Like, I have not changed its battery since I bought it a year ago, or something. Months ago, at the very least. And it just randomly turns on. For no reason sometimes. The cats don't even play with it. What the fuck? No, it's not connecting to mine, because my Bluetooth is off now. What the... I have no words. I am so confused. It's glowing green. 4 out of 5 stars on Amazon. Good battery.
Kind of thing you sell for £1 on eBay, not with the words "not haunted" in the description.
I think it was like £20 off Amazon. There is, however, a very cute dog across the road, I've just realised, and that's very odd, because it's just lying in the middle of the pavement and there's no one around. Unless it just wandered out the pub? Sorry, I'm actually going to take a look at that. Let me just do this. He actually put a comb in there to make it rhyme.
Jenna makes a few jerking motions away from the birdhouse to get rid of the cobwebs. She looks around, then sticks it out to me.
I'm back. Since you read the last one,
Okay.
and yeah, there's literally just a dog lying on its stomach in the middle of the pavement and no one around. It looks old. It's alive though. You just saw it lift its head.
Hopefully
Yeah,
it's alright.
I hope so. There is an open pub door very near it, so I'm hoping his owners are just inside and it just wandered outside. If it's still there in a bit, I might wander over after we finish.
Yep, that's fine. As I said, we're only going to be going like another 15 minutes at most. I glance at TJ, but he doesn't make any indication that he might want to. The bag is covered with what looks like dirt and cobwebs, and a few clumps of both dangle from the bottom. I open it carefully. When I pull out the paper, I can tell it's been wet a couple of times. A little crumpled, but when I unfold it, the water damage isn't bad enough I can't read it. So the paper immediately splits in two this time, and I have to hold them up together as I read it. It's dark to the point where I have to have Carl hold up his phone to give me some light. Good job, but that was a little easy, right? Next we will have to find out how brave you are. I know that was already a scary test for Chase, but that doesn't count.
Do you really remember?
Get a flashlight and make sure Leo is with you. Here it is. Stay in school, it will be cool. We'll have fun in 301. And I hope you don't die. Sid. We're all quiet for a moment, then TJ giggles. I look at him and he's covering his mouth with his hand and I can't see him smiling.
That's not really a riddle, is it?
I smile. Go easy on him. He was a kid.
Sorry. So, the old school in room 301. I assume that's what he meant by a test of courage? Shoot, he went in there all the time, all by himself? I wouldn't even do that now.
Yeah, that is a little weird. The feeling that something isn't right grows inside my chest.
Well, we have to break the law to get in there. We'd be trespassing.
Jaina glances at TJ because we all know the Lynx wouldn't dare break the law.
Besides, it's getting late. Maybe we can go check it out tomorrow. One of us can go in for you, Tej.
TJ looks at the sky where the stars are starting to twinkle through the branches.
Well, if we're going to trespass, we should do it at night, right?
Jaina's mouth falls open.
Don't worry about it.
You sure?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
Okay. What?
TJ looks flustered.
I mean, we don't have all that much time left here, so we should probably get as much of it done as we can.
So you're okay with breaking the law?
Well, yeah, if it means we can finish this.
We all stare at him.
I don't know what else to say, I just really want to get this done. It feels right.
We're quiet for a moment before Carl claps his hands together.
Well, alright then, let's go. We've still got a few hours before I'm going to bed.
Jaina sighs loudly.
Right, but I want to get back before 10 so I can finish my papers. Yeah, don't worry, onward!
Carl marches ahead of us, taking a running leap across the ditch. I look at TJ, who's still looking fidgety again. Hey, we'll finish this before we have to leave, okay? TJ gives me a small smile.
Okay.
Carl says that the cop still patrols Echo randomly at least once a night. Because of that, we let Jaina sit in the car and keep watch. If someone shows up, she'll text us, which should give us time to get out of the back of the school. It'll still look suspicious as hell, but as long as we not get caught in the property, we have some sort of excuse why we should be there. At least, that's what Carl says. We stand in front of the open door, and I notice a couple of chains hang loosely off the door, no lock to be found. Well, at least that hasn't changed. Carl shrugs.
Teenagers breaking all the time. No point in putting the lock back on every time.
Carl gives the door a shove and it slides open very slowly, letting out an unearthly squeal as it does. The three of us stand there staring into the darkness. TJ fidgets next to me. Having second thoughts?
No?
His voice comes out in a crackly squeak that Carl snorts at.
Just so dark. Nighttime has a way of doing that, my man. Good thing I chose my phone before we left.
Carl takes out his phone from his pocket and holds it up before turning on the light.
Mine's almost dead.
We can share. Carl sweeps the light around, revealing graffiti-covered walls and dirt-covered floors.
Nice.
I look back to see Jaina staring at us from the car. She gives me a thumbs up. I inhale deeply. Well, let's go. I take out my own phone and step inside as TJ follows me. Carl stands next to us, spinning in circles.
Well, it's not that creepy. Okay, so the rooms here are in the 200s.
TJ points up to the doorway next to us, a small label above reading 203.
So that means we have to go up one floor.
Carl swoops his light around and points it to the staircase. Shall we? Those things better be stable. Carl points his light at the staircase.
I can see some graffiti up there. It's probably fine.
The ram leads the way, at first tentatively setting a hoof on the first step before testing the next.
Yeah, it's good.
And with that he strides up the stairs while TJ and I follow a little bit more hesitantly.
Why don't they just demolish the place? They wanted to turn it into a museum. Can't see why, though.
Carl shines his light on the railing, the wood rotted and broken.
Hey, do you guys remember when Chase saw someone staring out from one of the windows up here? Oh my gosh, please don't talk about this right now. Do you even remember that, Chase?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I hardly remembered it, but I do remember seeing a dark form in one of the windows. I'd been positive it was just an object sitting in the room, but I'd wanted to tell my friend that I'd seen a ghost. It was nothing like I'd saw in the trees. Thinking about it is creeping me out though.
Stop!
TJ winds to reach the top of the stairs and then clearly trying to change the subject, points up at the door.
Alright, 305, so maybe this way? Chase, let me see your phone.
TJ takes it from me and points it up the next door over.
Yeah, 304, so the last one down.
He hands me back my phone and stands there a moment. Carl chuckles.
Want me to go in first? You scared?
TJ glares at him. Come on guys, I want to get out here too.
Okay, okay.
Carl leads the way again down the hall to the very end. There's more stuff in the way on this floor with a lot of desks and chairs. Carl keeps his light up, counting the doors. 303, 302, and 3... Oh, sorry, it's you.
30. Fuck.
TJ jumps a foot in the air and I point my light at Carl. What? Carl turns around sheepishly, rubbing his hip.
Ran into the stupid desk, hurt like a mother. Really, Carl?
TJ clings to me, taking a deep breath.
But here's the door.
Carl points the light back up at the door, and sure enough, there's a 301 up there. TJ and I stand next to him, both staring into the dark room.
I keep taking drinks of my, sips of my drink at really bad times.
I was doing that for a while.
Yeah. Hey, I think this might actually be the room you saw the thing staring at you from. Carl.
There's a warning tone in TJ's voice. I rub my chin. Actually, yeah, I think it is. TJ sighs heavily and closes his eyes.
Guys, please, can we just... Yeah!
Carl thrusts his hands onto TJ's side as he yells, sending TJ in hysterical fit of screaming and grabbing onto me. I stumble as I try and keep the lynx from rendering my flesh with his claws.
Oh shit, ow!
Carl reaches out to, I assume, comfort TJ, but gets a backhand across the face in response.
You ass!
I watch the two of them with wide eyes, never seen TJ so indignant. Carl stares back with a hand up to his cheek.
Whoa. Alright, let's start looking.
As if nothing had happened, TJ takes my phone and strides into the room, his tail twitching in irritation.
I can't believe he slapped me.
Carl calls after him but gets no response. I smile, try not to laugh as I walk past the ram.
Can you?
He asks me, rubbing his cheek as he follows me in. Hey, you asked for it. Probably not the best time to be scaring him.
Yeah, whatever. What the hell are we looking for anyway?
I look around. From what I can see, there's not much left of the room. A few desks are pushed up against the wall, and aside from the chalkboard and the map at one end of the room, there's nothing else. I go over and stand by TJ at the other side of the room, looking at the desks. There's not much here, is there? TJ sweeps the light around the room, frowning.
Not really.
He points the light at Carl's at the other end of the room by the chalkboard.
Anything written on the chalkboard, Carl?
Carl shines his light on the board, then gasps. What?
There is. It's a whole lot of dick.
Carl steps up the side, pointing his light at the board, and sure enough, it's covered with countless drawings of dicks. TJ sighs. I mean, we're bound to hit a roadblock eventually. I trail off, staring at the window at the far end of the room where I see a small-looking box on the ledge. What's that? I point and TJ shines the light over it. A metal toolbox glints back at us. TJ immediately walks over to it and I follow him. Carl joins us as TJ fiddles with the latches, popping them open. And there in the soft creak he lifts the lid, a tray extending out as he does. And there, sitting in the tray, is another folded piece of paper. There's no way.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Why not?
TJ gently picks up the note, handing me back my phone. Shine that on this, please. This for me, please. Sorry, that was you that was doing that line. Sorry. Someone would have taken it by now.
Well, they didn't, see?
TJ had unfolded it and he shows me the handwriting exactly the same as we'd seen in the other two notes. I frown but don't say anything more. Maybe it did just sit here for the past 10 years, no one wanting to bother with an old looking toolbox. But this place is broken into regularly with the whole point being to tag or take stuff. Someone definitely should have taken it by now. It was all on top of the idea that Sydney came in here as a little kid just to hide the note. Something isn't right, and I'm starting to feel really uneasy. I don't have time to dwell on that though as TJ begins to read. So you went to the school. You found it with some tools. Next, go to where I sleep. That's where I keep my secrets, something Chase can't keep. Sid. It's silent for a moment as we all take that in. I feel my face flush and fur prickle as I wonder what the hell the last line is supposed to mean. Carl and TJ don't look at me. but I can sense they want to. Carl is the first one to make a sound, clearing his throat.
So, Sydney's bedroom, maybe? That's what I'd be thinking. This is a kid writing this stuff, so it should be pretty straightforward.
I shake my head. Really, guys? TJ friend looks over at me.
What?
There was a defensive tone in TJ's voice, and I knew he knows what I'm about to say. This is way too much. TJ frowns at me.
Too much what?
You know. I trail off. Not used to TJ's looking at me this way. He lets the silence drag on, and I look over at Carl for help. He clears his throat again.
You know, Tej, this is pretty weird. Like, someone would have probably taken it by now. Why does that have to be the case? People could just missed it. We almost did.
TJ looks back down the note, holding it in both paws. I reach out for it, but TJ pulls it back like I'm going to try and steal it from him. Okay, can I have a look for a second? TJ hesitates, then holds it out for me slowly. I eye the links as I reach out, taking the note from him gently. TJ's behaviour alone has made me deciding that this whole thing is definitely a bad idea. The note looks old, just like the first two we found. The writing looks the same too. Maybe it is possible that Sydney just came in here to hide the note, wanting to make the scavenger hunt eventually scary for us. Especially scary for us. But still, I can't shake the feeling that something is off about it. I need to find time to really think about this. For now, though, I hand the paper back to TJ, who takes it from me gingerly, as if worried it would fall apart.
Carl, do you know who lives in Sydney's old house now?
Carl tips his head back as if thinking.
Can't remember his name, but he's a red panda, I think. Well, let's go then.
I give a start. To the house? His family moved out right after it happened. There's no way it's still there, Tej.
The other two were.
This is different, though.
Might as well try.
I can't imagine going up to the new homeowner and telling him about Sydney and a posthumous scavenger hunt, and him just letting us in. But the determined look on TJ's face tells me right away he won't be able to talk him out of it. I sigh. Well, can we at least do it tomorrow? I look at my phone. It's almost 10. TJ doesn't say anything as he looks out the window, his face barely visible in the darkness. Carl shifts around next to me.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty tired. We have all day tomorrow.
TJ suddenly turns around and heads for the door.
Fine, but we are going. I am at least.
Carl glances at me, probably feeling as uneasy as I am.
Hey, I'm coming too. Just think it'll be easier.
TJ doesn't respond, and we make the rest of the treacherous journey out of the school in silence. Jenna looks up from her phone as I slide into the driver's seat.
Find anything?
Yeah.
Another note?
Yeah.
Well, what did it say?
I busy myself with searching my pockets for the keys, so Jenna turns in her seat to look back at Carl and TJ.
Well? Next one is at Sydney's old house. What? Really? Yeah, we're going there tomorrow.
TJ doesn't offer anything more, so Jenna turns back around in her seat and gives me a look. She seems to scent the mid right now and doesn't question any further. As I stick the keys in the ignition, TJ speaks up again.
Chase, what did he mean by you not keeping secrets?
A moment of silence goes by before I answer. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a long time. I lay awake next to TJ, listening to Link's steady breathing. I've been tossing and turning for the past 3 hours trying to get some sleep, but my mind won't settle. This whole scavenger hunt has left me with such a bad taste in my mouth. Something about it especially unsettling, and I've turned it over and over in my mind, examining from every angle, and now I'm sure of it. I saw that fox hang in the forest after Sydney died. That's why I was there in the first place. That's why I'd been so sad. I turn over in my side, gripping my pillow in both paws to stare at the wall, listening to TJ's soft snoring behind me. So how the hell is any of this happening? It's scary, but not because I think Sydney's ghost is writing scavenger hunts or something stupid, or some stupid shit like that. No, someone wrote the notes pretending to be Sydney, then planted them around town for us to find. And that's something that's likely one of us, Leo, Carl, Jenna, Flynn, or even TJ. Are any of us sick enough to do something like that? And if so, who? I tried to remember if I told anyone about the incident in the forest before today, but honestly I can't remember. Apparently my mum had told some people about it, Jenna's parents for one. But I really can't imagine Jenna being among the aforementioned. Whoever's writing them seems like singling me out, mentioning the forest and how I told secrets. I roll back into the stare at the ceiling and start wondering about TJ. He's been acting really strange the past few days. His bright, cheerful demeanour almost completely gone after we started the treasure hunt. I guess it's possible that he's upset to do something as crazy as this. Maybe it could make him feel like he's connecting to the person he'd watched die over a decade ago. Maybe he did it a long time ago, and now only we've come across them. Maybe he can't remember because he's buried those memories. Those papers do seem pretty old, but I can't shake the feeling that this person has it out for me in some way. I think about how Carl was the one to find the first letter, but I almost immediately dismiss the idea that Carl might be involved. He would have no reason to do it, unless the other person I can't even imagine doing this is Flynn. He was the one most upset about Sydney's death, aside from TJ. Carl and Flynn seem to have grown pretty close over the past year or so. Could the two of them be involved somehow? It's pretty suspicious that it would just show up in Carl's basement. I roll back to my side, preferring to stare at the wall. I don't like suspecting my friends like this, but this whole thing is messed up with so many levels. I'm really worried about TJ. Depending on how all this ends, it could make things even worse for them. Considering how Flynn treated TJ at the river, I wouldn't be surprised if it's leading up to something terrible. And on top of all that, there's the insidious way that these rhymes refer to me. I decide that I'm going to have to do something after we find the next note, depending on what it says. If we even find it at all. I'm hoping that we don't.
That's probably a good place to leave it.
It should. Well, this should. I imagine this will probably be the next day, right?
I believe it is, yes. But I don't know if this is going to be a flashback first, because dream sequence is a thing that happens. I can't remember, basically.
What time are we at?
It's 6.
It's 6.
Yeah, that's also
Yeah,
why I was...
I should probably save there then, just so I'm wound up. Let's save over this one, because this is the one we saved before. Yes.
They're selling the bottles of Rubicon as 2 for £2 at the moment in co-op, and I'm so happy. Because this shit is normally like £2.50 a small bottle.
Yep.
So I drink way too much of this stuff.
Well, we'll wind up Echo there. What's your thoughts so far on this bit, Rowan? Have you done all this one before?
This is the one I played before, so I know what's coming. It's more having seen other routes and going back into this that I find interesting, like knowing who the Hanging Man is. I didn't know that the first time round playing this. The references to like other routes as well, like Carl being found in the crawl space.
Yeah.
Had no idea about any of that. Had no idea what Flynn's deal was, so I just thought he was a fucking jackass and kind of agreed with Jason TJ throughout all of this. But playing his route, you can see his side of it and how, no, he's not.
Yeah.
He's just a dick. He's not a danger,
you
know?
Where do you think this is all going?
I mean, I think the only criticism I have so far is the number of times that he's gone, I'm really unsettled. Just the number of times the phrase, something's off, something's unsettling, keeps coming up and 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 up.
Yeah.
It's a little bit overdone. But apart from that, everything else seems interesting. It seems like there's something building, like there's a change in characters as they're going on, like TJ does seem to be changing into something. And
you get to see another side of TJ in this route, which you don't get in the other routes. Which is kind of cool, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like, you're learning more about how the group actually was in the past, which you didn't get a lot of.
Yeah.
In previous routes, you didn't actually know what they were like, and it turns out they were all fucking dicks.
They're all dicks in different ways. I mean, that is teenager life.
Yeah, well, they were like 8 to 10, I think, when the incident occurred. But yeah, they're all little dickheads, and none of them were good people because they are just flawed, stupid children, and now they become flawed, stupid adults.
I mean, the important thing is
the characterization is so fucking good.
Yeah, but the fact that they embrace the fact that they are flawed people is always good character writing, because when you write characters that have no flaws, that's when you get terrible character writing.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like the characterization is so good. You can see everyone's little flaws and all their little neuroses, and how like they hide things or their masking abilities, or like Flynn's ability to just pretend he doesn't give a fuck is really working very well on TJ, but I don't think it works so well on Jenna. You know,
Yeah.
and it definitely doesn't work on Carl because he's still around him. Like it's fascinating, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely good at character development.
Yeah,
And
you can see a lot of little glimpses of like other routes in other routes. You get what I mean?
I mean, you get glimmers of character traits, but it's only when you run that character's story that you actually get the
full
full
context.
context. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jenna mentioning about like Chase seeing something in the woods. Well, she also saw shit.
Yeah.
You know, like it's stuff like that. You know, you get little tidbits all throughout.
It has been very enjoyable to run through. I'm enjoying it very much.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Did
liked.
you? I think I asked you this. This is the one that's a single pathway, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, Leo and Jenna both have 2 endings, I believe,
Right. Okay.
each.
That's good.
A
I mean,
good ending and a bad ending.
we'll have them to do and stuff as well. So we'll definitely have a good couple more weeks of this.
Yeah.
Which I'm enjoying. And then there is the.
And this being impulsive thoughts. That's something I meant to bring up. It's more like something picking away at your brain slowly in this one.
Yeah.
It's much more of a psychological horror.
Yeah, this one is much more psychological, and it's much more watching characteristics and mannerisms change.
And everything's slowly shifting into ways that don't feel right. Like,
Yeah.
it's very good at that.
It's very much that this character is acting out. Why is this character acting out? We're not sure. Oh, they seem to be
Now it's
aware that
making
they're
this character act out, and now it's ricocheting onto this person.
yeah, and then they seem to be aware they're acting out, but yes, yeah. If between like Janice and TJ and all that kind of stuff, it is slowly. Something is definitely ticking away in the background, and it's intriguing to get to the end of it.
Yeah, Janice is an amazing side character. Like the fact that it's like funny old lady in a diner. Oh, she's a little bit racist. That's not good. Oh, now she's kind of okay. She's asking for help. That's okay, right? And now she's trying to get us to do more work. And it's starting to feel a bit exploitative. And also, she peed in a road while high, and then she seems to be high again without trousers and asking us to dig a grave. And that's not good. And oh, here she is again, and she's just grinning, just like a bit too much, but only with her teeth. And now she's crying into a tray. Like something is just not okay with this woman.
Yep.
I don't think we ever fully find out why, but from what I remember, Jenna's route has a little bit more on her.
Ah, okay. Well, we're ending on Jenna, aren't we? So we're doing Leo next, yeah?
Yes. I believe that was the, unless you want to do Jenna next. Like, again, it's in your ballpark.
I think we'll probably do Leo next, and then we'll end on Jenna, because I think you said we should probably end on Jenna. So, we've still got
different structuring to it. Basically, Jenna's route was done last, which means that they tried to do a different system when it came to like how to get the endings, where it's more of a point system with Jenna.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
I don't want to actually say anything else about it because it'll give it away. But there is a point system in Jenna's route, and if you get enough points, you get one ending, and if you don't get many, you get the other.
Okay. Well, we will come to that eventually. But yes, that will do us for today. So I think tomorrow should be Verlasting. If it does cancel, I will message Rowan, and if we have time and we are up for it, we'll do some more Echo. If not, it'll be Verlasting. Tuesday. Oh, sorry. So you're gonna say something, Ron?
Oh, I said, yep.
All right, cool. Tuesday should be Deep Rock with myself and Tom and Zeph. Hopefully, Meow. Then afterwards, we'll be doing some indie horror. Thursday, we'll be doing indie horror. Friday, we'll be doing something, and then some Suns with AJ and Cassie. Then Sunday should be Dark Tide again. if there are Halloween bookings, they will just basically take over from anything else, and they will just randomly appear. So if there's going to be a Halloween episode recording, it will randomly just slot into a time slot, and it will take over from that one, and then everything else that isn't affected will just continue as normal. So there are currently no Halloween ones booked this week, but I am more than fine with just things happening last minute and having to pivot. So yes, if that changes, that changes. If not, oh well. But yes, that should be us for the rest of the week. So yeah, thank you as ever, Rowan, for both suggesting this and running through it.
Yeah, suggesting the gay furry visual novel dating sim. Like a horror trial.
It's been good though. It's been good.
It's surprisingly effective horror. I don't know if you get creeped out by this. I know I get little like shudders and horrible feelings.
I don't get creeped out, but I get intrigued, and I have found myself getting really intrigued, which is always a good sign. It's like if you're telling a horror story well enough that I'm literally, you know, if it, for the want of a better term, bit down on it hard, then yeah, that's a good horror telling. It's the same with a lot of like indie horror games I play. It's like if you can have enough intrigue that I bite down on it, then I will play all the way through unless your game is broken. If your game is fucking terrible and can't tell a story, then it's not going to keep me hooked in, and if something goes wrong, I'm more likely to go, well, and leave it. But I'm really enjoying this. I'm genuinely really enjoying this because I think it's it's been a fascinating, especially because of all the different ways that horror is explored as the game goes on with different routes. I really do like this.
Again, for a furry visual dating sim, it's surprisingly well written, well characterized, and deeply upsetting in places.
It's very, for want of a better term, it's very Trojan horse, and that it looks like something, and then when you actually start playing it, there's a lot there. You
can see why I'm like, no, it's not like Doki Doki Literature Club. No, I would die on this hill.
I remember you getting
like
so mad when Tom said that.
I got so fucking mad. But it's not like that at all. Like, there is basically just... They're similar in the way, like, you can compare butchers and surgeons.
Yeah.
You know, like, they both cut meat.
But they both cut meat for different reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, please do not compare those two. If I have to hear someone telling me about, like, fucking Sayori's suicide, again, like, this shock value, like, jump scare, basically.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, she's trying to flirt with you for now they're all acting weird and deleted from the game. Meta. Like, it can't stand on its own fucking feet in terms of horror. Like, it can't even craft a story that keeps you engaged and lets you suspend your disbelief. No, it has to go all meta.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
The fact that when we did Carl's route, we started, and then literally 5 hours went past without us realizing how long it had been.
Yeah.
That shows you what the story is like in this.
Yeah, it's weirdly engaging, and you just kind of end up sucked into it. Like, occasionally it's very American, and we have a giggle because that sentence sounds slightly funny, but for the most part, like, you can believe they are real people saying this, which is hilarious because they are an otter, a lynx, a ram, a fennec fox, and a lizard.
Yes, but they all seem very grounded in character.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's not something you see very often. Usually, especially in things that are, well, for want of a better term, like free visual novels, you don't see depth of character writing.
Yeah. Yeah, this earns the novel part of the visual novel thing. It feels like a book, but it's a book where you get to choose what ending you get.
Yeah.
And none of them are that good, and I don't think any of them you end up dating the fucker. Like, it's just a reoccurring theme that none of these relationships work. You are doomed whichever way you go. Which you probably have picked up on because even Carl's good ending was like, nah, we didn't get together.
Yep.
The only one where you get together with him is when he's fully fucking possessed.
Yep.
And it's just... Oh, it's the worst fucking blowjob in the world. I hated all of that. So Ram sucking off of an otter, and I'm upset, but not because of it being a ram and an otter. I'm upset because it's just so upsetting.
I mean, it seemed to upset you more than a lot of stuff in Flynn's run.
Yeah, like it's not the sexual nature of it. It's having your friend and lover possessed by someone who is now treating you like meat. Like it's just, it gets into your head in a really weird way. It upset me in the same kind of way that like Sydney's flashbacks about his dad did, you know?
Yeah.
Because I am familiar with that bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
It upset me in the same way of like Flynn as the monster in Jenna's closet after being asked if he's real, shaking his head. Like,
Yeah.
not scary, but just feels like you're going cold the whole time.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a good fucking game.
It's a good fucking game. As I said, I am really enjoying it. But yes, we'll be back with this. If not tomorrow, then we'll be back with this next Monday. Yeah, if not tomorrow, because tomorrow should be everlasting. If it's not, then it should be next Monday. Again, unless there's a Halloween thing in this place. Again, next Sunday should be back to Dark Tide. If that falls through again, maybe we'll do some more of this. I don't know. We'll find out in time. Just out of interest, how long is TJ's route?
We are over halfway through from what I remember.
Okay, that's fine. It's just roughly so I know if it's going to be like a full, like 6-hour blitz through it, or if it's going to be like a 3-hour and it's done and then we're on to something
From
else.
what I know, there's 2 more notes, and then the end.
Right. Okay. That's fine. I just need the vague. No, I don't need to know details because of
Cool.
as I said.
Yep.
I
I can't see any more than that.
I'm not really that into. I don't really mind spoilers and stuff because like I enjoy the story myself because I've enjoyed everything else at this point.
No, I am not spoiling this. I am actively choosing not to spoil this. This deserves to just be read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna raid over to Darren. Darren is playing Resident Evil 2, I believe now.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's just started. I think he's doing Claire's run from the beginning to celebrate Halloween. So we're gonna raid over to Darren. But yes, thank you everyone for watching along. I hope you have a great rest of Spooky Month. We will hopefully be back with you for Everlasting tomorrow, and if not, we're back with Deep Rock and spooky shit on Tuesday. So yeah, till then, folks, you all take care. Have a great rest of your time. We're gonna go see Darren. Till then, take care. Good night.
Have a good one.